All right, everybody. We're going to finish the second part of the Andrew Wilson, Candace Owens debate. I think this one actually gets spicier. That's where I see the most clips about it. But I wanted to start this because I thought this was so funny. I saw this. It's this guy. I asked the most powerful. Basically, Andrew thinks that he won the debate because AI told him so. It says, I asked the most powerful AI to review the transcript of Candace Owens, Andrew Wilson debate across 7 debate parameters. Claude AI says Andrew Wilson won decisively. Patrick Bet David's audience says Candace Owens won 2-1. One of them is wrong. Then Andrew Wilson, of course, he needed to cope post and say, every AI source will say I won. That was never in question. Specific AI programs built for this purpose, judging debates, will also say so. The polls are simply a reflection of who has the larger audience post-debate. During the debate, I won those too. It's not hard to understand. Here's the reality. He's coping really hard, but this does not surprise me at all. For one, we kind of, I think most of us know at this point, or at least have a pretty good idea that TPUSA sent them there to try to probe some information out of Candace for a lawsuit, right? He's like their debate coach or something cringe like that. Or maybe he's their army sniper. I don't even know. But realistically speaking, this does not surprise me. Andrew Wilson is the divorced dad that asks AI to reaffirm him. Guys, Claude, Grok, should my kids be the ones that are trying to contact me first? I know that they're 12, but they need to make an effort too, right? Yes, Andrew, they should too. Like that's what it is. So. But anyway, heckin' owned, dude. You really got him on that one. Everybody knows this guy lost. He obviously didn't even seem to give a shit about what's going on. But anyway, let's finish this bad boy out right here. Let's get this party started, baby. Quick plugs. Papa Got memberships, the same on both Patreon and YouTube. There's an EDP Doc React here that's not showing. There's the Small Gut. Gives you access to opening up the members-only Discord. You can go in there without being a member, but, there's features that are locked. Medium Gut gives you all this nice backlog content here. Also available on Patreon. Also for the people on YouTube, just so you know, starting September, the live streams after I go offline, the VODs will be locked behind the members-only tier of Medium Gut. Anyway, podcast 2, link in the description with me and my wife. I like the podcast a lot. I'm just fumbling my words today, Jesus Christ. And then we got the stickers, link in the description. I'm not going to batter you down with all this bullshit. I like it, but I want to get this going. I like it. I like the podcast with my wife. All right, let's go.
Okay, so we're officially back. Andrew, before we go into the other issues you want to talk about, Is it fair to say you're good defending your position of the overwhelming evidence?
Right, and he defined overwhelming, just a little refresher, as he believes it. That is how he defined overwhelming. Changing the definitions of words is really good in the middle of the debate.
Yeah.
Okay, beautiful.
Yeah.
You take the lead. Go for it.
Yeah, so I have a bunch of questions for you, and
Well, it is a debate, so
I want to make it super painless, right? So no traps, no gotchas. I'm just going to ask him direct, and I think...
Wow, is this like a new Andrew Wilson? Did he turn a new leaf, or is this a new strategy from him?
That as long as they're not loaded, if they're loaded, you should not respond yes or no, but as long as they're not loaded, if I just directly ask them, I'm hoping that you'll just give me a direct answer. So here's the questions that I have.
Wait, before we get into that, I would like to just reply to that. Mm-hmm. So just to be clear, we agreed to debate our claims, and then I agreed publicly that I have no issues having a conversation with you about other things that I've discussed that were outside of the court hearing and things like other evidence that's come across our lap and things that we've been speaking about. But I just do want to make it clear to viewers that for whatever reason, you think that you have a right to sort of depose me.
I'm not deposing you. I just want to ask you some questions.
But you literally said that I want to be able to question you.
Well, this is a meta conversation.
Right,
but
okay, so now we're transcending. Like, let's use a word to use a word that you're saying. But this is what you're doing, right? Okay. So this
it's so funny because what he's saying would to a normal person probably sound somewhat reasonable, but Andrew likes to play games. Everything's about just trying to like extract some kind of information and specifically get you tied down on a point so he can like virtue signal about it. Like again, he dialogue trees people, so he probably has a dialogue tree he really wants to get her into so that he can go through it. That's the problem. Andrew is basically AI. He really doesn't have any on the fly points that he can make. He mostly just like has a bunch of prepared points, which is like, that's why every single time he's talking to like mostly an OnlyFans girl, it's the same over and over and over and over and over again. For instance, he really likes to talk about how women should be thankful that men don't rape them and stuff like that. And it's always like the same thing. He constantly makes comparisons to sexual assault. Like he actually does it a lot. And then he's like, well, it's just a comparison, dude. Like very terminally online behavior, very malicious type behavior, debate pervert. So
this part to me feels like a bit of
am I allowed to ask the questions?
I've already said you can ask questions, but I made it very clear to you via email and with you in conversation that We should be speaking. This
Yeah, I
isn't
know,
like
but
you
I
get to
wanna-
sit.
I wanna
I
ask
said
you
if you
some
wanted to
questions.
depose me, you should join
I'm not
Brigitte
deposing
Macron's
you.
defense team.
This
But
is
you're
part-
like, I'm
this
just
is
going
a
to ask questions.
legitimate
Can you
part-
answer it? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know what you're going to ask. And
I
I'm
know,
going to answer
and if
as
you
I
have
see
issues
fit
with
because
it,
I'm not.
I get it.
Yeah,
I get
okay,
it.
just so we're clear. 'Cause-
Usually in the debate, if something's not loaded, I'm just direct with
because
the
you kept
question
saying
with
I'm
the
Joe
answer.
Rogan. They have no evidence. They have no evidence. And now you're like, let's move away from the evidence.
You
Just talk about trends and
you
dentals.
actually, yeah, okay. Anyway, so direct question, super easy. Was Lance Twiggs DNA in the rifle, as far as you know?
We can't say that for certainty.
As far as you know.
I already answered that in the first part. We can't say that for certainty. I told you the context of which they spoke about those things.
So no, as far as you know.
We can't say that for certainty until we know what other the 5 sets of principles.
What did I just say? He's trying to get her to dialogue tree. Hey, we can't say this for certain. Oh, so no. Oh, so no. Oh, so no. Oh, so can you grant this to me? Oh, so no. Okay, because I have he has an entire tree of 100 points he wants to make based off of this one thing that she won't that he desperately wants to pin her down on.
So that would be no as far as you know.
We can't say that for certainty.
You can say no as far as I know for certain.
Nope. Or she could just say we don't know that for certain.
We can't say that for certainty. Actually,
You can say
just,
that for certainty.
If
But you can't say that for certainty.
if your energy here is going to be like you're my dad and you can tell me how to speak or what I'm supposed to say, you're just going to come up against the wall. I'm
Okay,
familiar with
but-
this debate strategy.
but I
like,
am just
yes or no,
telling
yes or no,
you.
yes or no. We're not debating anymore. We're having a conversation. So I already addressed that in the first half of this about why.
No, we're still
there's-
definitely debating. This is still.
She's dog walking this motherfucker.
No, it's not a debate. Now this is you saying I want to probe things that sit outside of the evidence. I actually
Just to be clear, there is a difference between a debate and a conversation. A conversation is where two people sit down and like talk about something. They generally, for the most part, will try to be good faith about what they're saying. And it doesn't have to be super structured or organized because people are mature enough to actually talk things out and be able to function, even if things get heated. Andrew doesn't know how to have conversations. He only knows how to debate, because what you do in a debate is you try to pin people down and lock people down on things, regardless of whether you're right or wrong. He's trying to dialogue tree her. He's trying to get her to concede to a point that makes no sense that she would concede to it at all, so that he can go on to a prepared set of 100 points that TPUSA probably gave him, so that he can try to extract some kind of like lawsuit resource in some kind of lawsuit, against him. Because again, he's their army sniper. He's like the army sniper debate coach for TPUSA. That's all that's happening here. It's stupid.
actually already addressed this. You asked me. You're not going to go like where you're sitting and I'm on trial. I'm not on trial.
Okay, great.
So you can have a conversation as we've agreed to.
Let's talk about the Foreign Legion.
Sure.
So now he couldn't get that point. So instead of to continue, he's going to just try to go for a different angle, right? Like he had an entire point, but now he's going to go to a different angle.
Was the Foreign Legion, do you believe, trying to kill you?
Yes, that's why I reported it to the correct officials in government. That's what I was told, and I handed over that information to Tulsi Gabbard's office.
What's your best piece of evidence for that?
Well, it was
positive evidence.
It was told to me by somebody who is high up in the French government. I passed off that information to Tulsi Gabbard's office.
Maybe it was the person that told her that guy's wife has a penis.
I also passed it off to Trump's office, Donald Trump's office. And that's all I can tell you. I wouldn't be able to probe any evidence because I don't have the power to do that. I'm not the federal government. And I would also like to say that this becomes this other piece of what you do, which is when people say, I was told this, and this is the evidence that I have, and I'm willing to have that conversation and write the email to the correct government body that deals with this. Like, I can't hack into Emmanuel Macron's bank accounts and say whether or not the information.
I agree.
But then you go, well, where's your evidence? It's like, well, my evidence is that I reported it. I did the right thing that you're going to do. So if somebody calls and says, hey, Andrew, there's a viable death threat against you, and that person definitively has the rank to be able to tell you this, and you say, well, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to report that to the feds, and then I go, what's your evidence? It's like, well, I got the information.
I don't think anybody's trying to kill her, but I know that he's playing a debate game, right? This is one of those things with this conversation is like, it's not really going to be about honesty in some capacity. It's also going to be about debate strategy because Andrew is not an honest person.
And I gave the information that I got from who I got it to the right body of people. And that's what I did.
Got it. I just want to make sure.
So
I'm not trying to trap you. I just want to make sure I got it.
Yes, he is.
And that's why I said I want to know what you're doing now, because this has always been the thing. It's like, we actually can't.
He's trying to make her seem insane for this like threat, but her answers, even if she is kind of crazy, her answers are pretty good. They're pretty well, like I would say, media trained answers, honestly.
Win on the overwhelming claim. So we're just going to go and bring up everything that I think can try to embarrass her. I reported exactly.
Yep.
I'm not trying to embarrass you. I just want
to. It's almost scary. She's like a conspiracy theorist, but she's also very aware of herself. There's something almost psychotic about it.
Make sure that I get your positions clear.
I have not said. Yeah, go ahead.
And now you have.
Usually, it's like one or the other. Somebody will be like an insane conspiracy theorist, or they'll be like very aware of themselves. But it seems like Candace is both. I think that's what happens when you put a woman in a position like this, because women love conspiracy theories for whatever reason. So it kind of makes. Kind of makes sense to me. I was talking to my wife about this afterwards, after the first part I watched, and she's like, "You don't really believe in any conspiracy theories?" I'm like, "No." She's like, "Oh, okay," but she does. Like, she believes in some of them, and I'm like, "Okay, that's crazy." Like, she'll watch like fucking podcasts that explore conspiracies.
Have stated multiple times that you believe that Israel's involved in the death of Charlie Kirk.
Can you give me?
Yes, we can pull up the clip. I'm sorry. I'm just saying.
Dude, I'm telling you, he has sets of dialogue he wants to get through. This is why he's rushing through it. He's like a little kid sitting at the table. He's waiting for his dessert. He finished his hot dogs and fucking mac and cheese, dude.
Can I finish the sentence?
Go ahead.
Can you give me the context for what are you talking about? Like when I say, generally speaking, why people think that Israel's involved? Mm-hmm. Okay, where's your question?
Yeah, do you have any positive evidence whatsoever that Israel killed Charlie Kirk?
Well, I couldn't say Israel was on the ground and shot and killed Charlie Kirk. I would say that there are various things that we're trying to establish, one being a motive.
By the way, I don't believe that Israel would do that. It makes no sense because they're perfect. No, because like Charlie Kirk was a big fan of Israel. So I don't understand that.
And since I don't believe that Tyler Robinson and his transferee...
well, it's funny because he was like, Shane Dawson was the GOAT with conspiracies before he got canceled. I mean, he's not really that canceled. I know he did some dumb shit like back on YouTube when it was a mess, but my wife watches Shane Dawson's podcast sometimes. Like, who cares? People like are overblown to like shit on some of this stuff. It's fucking insane. And it's usually the same people that are like, oh my God, Shane Dawson is so bad. Are the same people that like fucking love Trump. I don't know, dude. And that guy did rapes. So, that's the point that I'm making.
Is a convincing motive because he was fired up about politics, which Lance testified that he never spoke about with him. Nor do I believe that he was, so into LGBTQ issues, since Lance testified they never spoke about LGBTQ issues, that he stopped and ate at Chick-fil-A, which if you are into LGBTQ issues, wouldn't be your lunch before you go kill Charlie Kirk for LGBTQ issues.
Listen, ma'am. Don't want to misgender. Let's keep it a stack here. You guys know I like gay people and I like trans people. I love them. I hate Chick-fil-A. I still go there because the food is good, dude. You know what I mean? Those white boys know how to cook, So the only thing that pisses me off about Chick-fil-A, I mean, it is the homophobia, obviously, of course. But then also part of it's that like they'll get themselves into like rest stops when you're driving to like, wherever you're driving to. But then they're closed on Sunday. It's like, dude, listen, if you're gonna put something in a rest stop, it shouldn't be allowed to be closed on Sundays. I don't think that that's unreasonable. Like, be like, hey, listen, you have to either operate on Sunday or, we're going to put somebody else in there for the day. I don't know. Just give me some fucking guy. Like, give me some like street chicken vendor or something. Let's keep it fucking real, man. Because it just feels like kind of ridiculous. You get this contract and then you guys are going to fucking dip out. Seems unfair to me. So,
because
but do you have positive evidence?
I'm answering the question as I feel like I want to answer it. Like I said, you don't get to for an hour and a half.
But the question I'm asking is about positive evidence.
I'm telling you that in any case,
any negative evidence of that?
Establishing a motive, and and again, I already explained this at the top of the show. But the reason why people find Israel to be an interesting question,
Popeyes is better. That is true.
Is because truthfully, Charlie's perspectives were.
But you have to understand, like Tyler Robinson's a white boy. White boys are gonna obviously like white boy food. Not everybody can handle the spiciness of. Not every white person's as good as me, dude. Okay, stop it.
Changing on Israel.
Sure.
And he was starting to realize how much pressure was being put on not just our government to constantly fight their wars, but also being put on his organization personally. If people had come out and been honest about that, rather than
I mean, this problem, the counter to that is like Charlie Kirk was a huge fucking grifter and he would have just like fallen in line with whatever Trump said. So, like, okay.
Claiming he never flinched and everybody's lying and this is not true, you would probably have people that just go, that's life. People change their opinions.
I understand.
And then there was the not even that. It's like everything was about trying to convince the public how much he liked it.
So then other than intuition, how you feel about things, do you have any evidence Israel was involved in killing Charlie Kirk?
I have already said, and if you're watching my show in the context of what I said, this is the general sense of why people think Israel's involved. Nobody has made the claim that Israelis, there were also, obviously Joe
Carroll
Kent
made the claim.
Well, Joe Kent, who I think would have the right to assert it, noted that there were 12 Israeli cell phones on the ground that day. I think most people would like to probe that. Now, it could be maybe they were students, and they were Israeli students in Utah that day.
Well, I guess that would make sense. I don't know.
But we'd like to probe that narrative because what we've seen...
I don't know what that means. There are 12 Israeli cell phones on the ground? What does that mean?
After coming from the Israeli government, the Israeli prime minister... kind of denying that he did it, which wasn't really necessary. He was quite busy. The phone call that happened, which no one wants to discuss in the Hamptons the week prior, or not the week prior, I think it was around August 5th or 6th.
What the hell is she talking about?
That took place. And again,
maybe August 6th or 7th.
The almost desperate lies about Charlie shifting opinion on Israel lead us to believe that there could be an Israeli angle in this. But we cannot say for certainty that Israel called the shots, and this is how it happened. But it is definitively, I think, a thread that a lot of us would like to see.
There's no
pulled.
positive evidence.
Whatever you want to say, however positive, negative, however you want to say it.
Well, like positive evidence
I can just
would
have
be
a conversation.
Material evidence and other evidences which would
what
point
we said
you to
is
it.
So, like, just to be clear, what's happening? So, again, I think that she's kind of crazy here, but she's saying there's like no, like she's trying to establish like, yeah, there's no material evidence, but I believe this based on the whatever. Okay, fine. He's trying to say like, oh, positive or negative, because he wants to take the word positive and assign it to this situation. If there's no positive evidence, that means that it must be all negative, which means she's crazy. That's kind of the idea, is to take the definitions of other words and apply them to different things. Like when he decided that like, oh, what was it, like matter of fact or whatever, however he phrased it, like his idea of like matter of fact or, you know, absolutely or whatever the fuck words he used was just if he believes it, right? So that's kind of like, that's part of the strategy, is almost to utilize different definitions, different words to kind of, you know, anchor them to the situation so that he can basically have a vibe. He can basically like he can use that as like a way, like almost like a Trojan horse. Also, I don't know what this 12 cell phone thing is. Looking it up, it doesn't seem like this is even true. It was just some kind of like an unverified social media post that was amplified by Candace Owens. That makes sense. So I don't know what the fuck that means. So she probably made that up. But like, what's interesting is like, you know, Andrew just seems to be like not very prepared for this whole thing. Why not have somebody sit down and maybe like educate themselves on this entire scenario, like, or do notes or something? I mean, especially there has to be enough infrastructure to be more prepared for this debate, given like how this guy's on Rogan twice. You know what I mean? You didn't want to like, you know, you're begging for a debate with Candace Owens and you don't have anything prepped for it.
On our show is what we said, which is this feels like a conspiracy building.
Overwhelming evidence, yeah.
There's no reason to lie about these things, and yet
He said overwhelming, yeah.
people are lying. BB ain't acting right. The Hamptons thing was weird, and the way they tried to shove the Israel narrative down our throat immediately. I mean, the day he died, posting a picture of him with an American and Israeli AI'd photo on the president's feed doesn't feel right. So,
do you have any evidence that Erica Kirk or TPUSA participated in the murder of Charlie Kirk?
I've never said they participated in the murder of Charlie Kirk.
That's what I'm saying. This is what he's here for. Just to be clear, this is what he's here for. This is what he's here for. Just to be clear, TPUSA, this is my conspiracy. TPUSA paid him to be here. They already paid him to fucking, to do like some debate coaching bullshit. Right? Now they're paying him to be here to ask questions like this, to try to pin her down. They're trying to get information. This is the goal, and he fails at it so fucking hard. It's funny.
Kirk, so how could I say that I have evidence they participated in the murder of Charlie Kirk?
Okay. So then you don't believe that they did?
I never have said that statement, so I'm not going to get you to ask me personal questions about things that I've never said on record.
Okay, fair.
Your team is sending messages in the back saying they have a video they want to play.
Okay, go ahead.
They're fucking, he is trying so hard to get information. Holy fuck.
I don't know what the video is.
Awkward silence.
Yes, you said that there's a video you want to play that Candace said she has full confidence Israel was involved.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh. He said evidence that they killed him. I said this is why people think they're involvement.
So
if they have the clip, they can play the clip.
Yeah.
They're referring to a clip.
Yeah.
They not have the clip. TPUSA unfollowed mid debate. Is that real? Wait, is that even real?
Via who? My guess is Pierre Carica. I think that there's a reason Pierre knew that Charlie was dead first. I think there's a reason he was a priority. How? Why? I think France and Israel are involved in Charlie Kirk's assassination. And I'm going to put that out there with full confidence.
Okay.
I also involvement.
I understand.
Yeah.
So you think you with full confidence, you think that...
Doesn't that... Well, yeah, with full confidence. That's not the same... Okay, whatever.
Yeah, I think Israel's
France
involved.
and Israel.
Yeah. I mean, the person that gave me that thing that I reported said that French Foreign Legion were on the ground that day.
It's interesting how she puts it off on everybody else. These like fantasy sources.
Again,
why doesn't he attack that? Be like, oh, you always seem to have like some kind of a source. Like, how do we know they're credible? Like, what gives you credibility? Blah, 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 blah.
This would be...
What the hell? Damn. Wait, so TPUSA unironically unfollowed Andrew Wilson in the middle of this debate. That's bad. TPUSA, the place that Candace has been talking very negatively about since the death of Charlie Kirk. Dude, that's fucking crazy. Bro, Andrew got wiped on this thing, man. He got wiped hard.
This would be at a professional limitation for me to then go and probe that information that I handed over. I can't do that. I'm not the United States government.
But you don't have any positive evidence of that,
okay.
right?
Liz, can you just stop? It's actually just like annoying to hear you keep saying positive evidence. I've just asked me what I think, and I just tell you, yes, I think they are
that's
involved.
A claim.
No, I said, here's what I think.
I have every right to ask you about your claim.
Yeah, but
but he's trying to pin her down because it's a debate tactic. She obviously already knows that.
Positive evidence for your claim.
I literally
this is fucking ridiculous.
Just said, I think, and I am allowed to think.
And
you
you're allowed to think, but you're making a claim.
I have tons of positive.
You're making an ought claim right now, and you ought to shut the fuck up, Andrew.
Evidence that I'm allowed to think.
I agree. You're allowed to think.
Okay. So,
bro, I honestly I see. I don't really like Candace Owens, but I really do appreciate the fact that she's pushing back against this like debate fucking rapist bullshit. And I say that with confidence with Andrew because again, he says women should be thankful men don't rape them. So like Andrew Wilson is a debate rapist. He's not a particularly smart person. He can't really think on the fly. He doesn't know how to have reasonable conversations. And frankly, I think the reason that he married his wife is because her pussy is so fucking loose from having a bunch of guys and a bunch of kids with other guys in there that he can hear his own voice when he goes down on her. And the only reason he does go down on her is so he can hear his own voice. I think that's really what it boils down to. I mean, he's a rude, nasty piece of shit, and his wife is just like a fucking miniature him. That's all it is. He's just like fucking, and he's pathetic. He's gross, and he's part of like this whole like red pill, obnoxious like manosphere thing where they just go on and like harass fucking OnlyFans girls and pretend that that's every single woman. While he also says like dumbass shit, like he said dumbass shit before, where he thinks that like only property owners should like be able to vote and shit like that, like just some dumbass shit. Like he's a loser. And most of the girls that he harasses are like young blondes. So he obviously has a type. So it's nice to get this pushback against this shit because it's so fucking terminally online like brain rot. Like it's actually unironically like Andrew Wilson is a cancer to society with the way that he has conversations. And the fact that fucking Joe Rogan, the TBI addled fucking brain ape, decided that he wanted to have him on multiple times is just insane. I mean, it's insane. I mean, I don't know why Joe Rogan is so okay with rape. I guess he's totally fine with like actual, like, or not actual, but people who say rapist shit constantly compare everything to rape and say women should be thankful that they don't get raped by men. I couldn't think of a more insane sentence to utter when it comes to like, I would imagine that a rapist would say that, and that's who was being dealt with. So I don't know. It just, it's nice to get the pushback against that. It'd be fucking real.
Nobody's disputing whether or not Candace Owens is allowed to think. What I'm asking is if you have
what's your issue then? What is your issue with the statement?
Evidence.
I think that Israel is involved.
That's not just what you said. You said that it's with full confidence.
Yes.
Yeah, well, she thinks it's full confidence. She thinks.
You would think that if you had full confidence
to think when you think.
If I said, for instance, I think I'm going to be late to work. Right, with full confidence.
Bro, again, I'm not trying to be that guy. I really don't like speaking negatively of religion, but this guy's entire structure is based on like the shittiest interpretation of religion possible. He's literally sat in debates and argued that slavery is justifiable under certain contexts. You have absolute faith in something that you cannot prove, which is God, and you're going to sit here and you're going to cry that she has absolute faith in her perspective. It makes no sense. This is what I'm saying. This is why Wilson would never be able to win this because like his audience is just as conspiracy brained. They all have like a very religious, like a fundamentalist religious perspective that they're operating on. Like that's what it is. And then he's like, oh, you can't just say this. That's all you say. That's like your entire thing. That's all you do. That's all you say. So how are you going to say that she can't do something that like is all you do? It doesn't make any fucking sense. Like that's the foundation of like the structure of your fucking arguments.
I would say my evidence for that is that I'm 20 minutes away and I need to be there in 5.
Andrew.
That's how you would know whether or not you had full confidence.
I'm tell you something.
Let me finish.
Sure.
He's getting so worked up over probably the only point he feels strong on. It's actually pathetic.
Finish. If it was the case that I said I have full confidence I'm going to be late to work, I would say my evidence that I'm going to be is that work is 20 minutes away, right? And I have to be there in 5.
I mean, your wife did have full confidence that you were a military sniper, so that's pretty crazy. But
so I have full confidence. That's why I would think that.
Ooh.
So I'm asking if you think that Israel and France were involved in the assassination of Charlie Kirk, and you say with full confidence, I'm just asking for the evidence, or at least walk me through the mindset of why it is that you could think that with evidence.
I actually don't have to walk you through why I think.
Well, I feel like she's been walking you through the mindset the entire time about it, no?
I can give you something that I think with full confidence. I think with full confidence that you lost the substance of this debate, and now you're moving toward things that I have said that I think, which I can do. I'm allowed to think that.
This debate.
It's not exactly pertinent to this debate. It's not pertinent because our debate
these are claims made about Charlie Kirk's assassination. That's the complete substance of the debate.
No, actually, would you like to remind him of what our debate claims actually were?
And would you like to remind you said I could ask you about any of these things to my heart's content?
Feel free, but you do not get to structure how I'm allowed to reply or ask me why are you allowed to
how you're allowed to reply. I'm just asking you direct questions.
I have full confidence that you do not feel that you represented your claim well. And so now what you came prepared to do is to present yourself like a professor of fallacies.
I just want to know.
Look, he's so scared. He won't stop talking. That's how you know he's a coward. He can't let her like finish a sentence. That's the whole point.
And to say, you're not allowed to say that. You can't.
You can say whatever you want.
Well,
nobody's disputing that. I'm asking.
It seems like you are disputing it. I think that
specifically
when this is all said and done, I've already explained to you. I explained at the beginning of this why I think Israel is ultimately going to be proven to have involvement in this. I just explained to you in the middle, and now you're wanting me to structure the sentence or provide evidence. You don't have to. You're just allowed to think. And I've explained to you my thought process. I don't need to structure it in a sentence. If you feel like a professor today, you picked the wrong day.
Don't you think that like tens of
he did teach gun when he Army sniper.
Thousands or hundreds of thousands of people would want to know what Candace Owens' positive evidence for why it is that Israel and France were involved in the most
Dude, I love it. Just no. Nope. That's it. Yeah, no. Who cares?
Traumatic public assassination of Gen Z's lifetime is?
Charlie Kirk's assassination wasn't traumatic. It was a thing. Trump stopped caring the next day when he was asked about it. What was it, like the next day, a couple days later? Hey, how are you feeling about your friend Charlie Kirk being dead? Oh, my ballroom's coming. Like, it wasn't traumatic. Nobody like this is one of the things that like people really like. You'll never convince me anybody really cared about Charlie Kirk's death. Like, because no, like on like it's kind of reality. Nobody acted like they cared. They pretended to, and then people stopped caring the next fucking day. So it's the most traumatic fucking. What are you talking about, dude? Most traumatic what? We live in a society of people who have like who care about nothing anymore because like everything is so fucking difficult and insane. Like we're at a point now where people like after Luigi fucking killed that CEO, nobody cared. You know, it was terrible, by the way. No CEOs should be under risk, even the ones that exist to do their best to take as much money from you for healthcare in an inflated system and deny you as much as possible so they can get another yacht. You should like those people. They are people. You should never dehumanize them. But we live in a time of like dehumanization. This guy, Andrew Wilson, unironically thinks that if you're poor, don't have any property, or if you're a woman, you shouldn't be able to vote. I watched his gay little debate with fucking Jillian Michaels. That's what it is. He doesn't think you're a person, so I don't really understand. People like that's dehumanizing. Yeah, you should be able to vote. It's a basic. I would say it's a basic right, almost a human right, ability to participate in society. So
that's why they watch my podcast.
So you're just going to drip to them? Like, here's why I think that?
Every time we come across any of these discussions, they're watching this in context and they know why I'm saying it. So, for example, when you're bringing up, Candace, where's your evidence for France doing this? I just told you someone who was high ranking in the French government, right?
Who's nameless?
Of course.
He probably has a name.
Of course.
But so there's good reason to doubt this.
So it's not a conspiracy, though, if I then took it to the federal government. Like, you can't just go out there making a claim to the federal government. You get in trouble for making false statements and things of that nature.
It's so funny because, like, he could have productively he's incapable. But he could be like, okay, so, like, what is your claim for that? Somebody in the government. What you would answer that, okay, so the question is, like, hey, you think that there's, like, a threat on your life. Why do you think that? Oh, well, somebody in the French government said this. Like, oh, do you see why people maybe think that that's kind of ridiculous? She's basically doing that to him. She's using that same conversational strategy to him. Hey, do you see why people might think that that's kind of preposterous? Oh, yeah, I do. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, okay. I mean, I hear what you're saying. I cast out on that, but like, okay. You don't need to push every point and like reinforce it. The problem is that Wilson is so used to clip culture pushing that he just feels like he has to pin you down. And like he's trying to go for a show. That's why he uses provocative language and says like a bunch of rape shit all the time. Because he's trying to put on a show, but he doesn't know how to have a conversation. He's incapable of it. He is fundamentally incapable of the conversation. Frankly, I think maybe I should release my debate with Andrew Wilson on Spotify and stuff. But that's his problem.
So, and then you go, well, I'm going to probe that. Well, how can...
Which, like, I'm not, like, frankly, from a debate perspective, I probably lost that one. But, like, I came in there for a conversation. I got to know the guy. And now I understand how to talk to him if I ever did talk to him again, which I'm not interested in. I'm not really interested in like talking to the type of person that would be a threat to my daughter when she's born. It's just not really the vibes for me.
Can you probe that? This happened to me.
Ask you, well, that's not what I'm probing specifically.
This is my podcast.
He is probing.
I'm sharing my life and my experiences and what has happened to me. Mm-hmm. And you're basically coming in like you're going to, regulate how I'm allowed to say it? If
I'm not trying to regulate anything. I'm asking
epic feminist fucking Candace Owens here, right?
You're sounding a bit like a professor trying to regulate and say, Candace,
you sound very defensive and like you just don't want to answer questions.
She is defensive. Again, being defensive isn't necessarily a bad thing. He's trying to dictate her speech and trap her in a corner and she's calling it out. Who cares if you sound offensive?
Did answer your question 3 times. I just didn't say it in the way that you wanted me to say it.
You just kind of obfuscate and you run away from it. But I would like for you to actually focus on it.
Let's just go through every clip that you guys have prepared because I'm I think with full confidence, people will recognize the strategy that you're trying to employ. So let's get to the next clip you have prepared.
Sure, they can pull up.
Dude, she's not wrong.
Whatever
it is that you guys have prepared. So
but I would still, on this point, I just want to make sure that you have full confidence that France and Israel were involved in the assassination of Charlie Kirk.
I think
and you have no evidence for it at all that you'll give us.
Well, I already did tell you where it came from. Like I said, I can explain it to you. I can't understand
Did
it
that
for you.
same higher up tell you that he was going to kill, or that France killed Charlie Kirk, or just that you were in danger?
They said that the French Foreign Legion was involved and on the ground that day. I've already said that. You just don't like hearing it.
No, Candace, just out of curiosity,
Yes.
when you pass down that message to a Tulsi
He is so desperate to try to pin her down.
or Trump,
Tulsi's office, yes.
Tulsi's office, are you?
This is why in the conversation I had with him, I just kept saying, hey, you'd have a conversation about it over and over and over again. Because there's nothing, he's looking for an answer to dialogue tree you. That's the whole point.
Giving them who told you that, or you're just saying, here's what I heard from somebody.
And I have this information.
Sure.
And of course, if they wanted to open a file on it, which I thought was quite mysterious, that Trump's office never got back to us. It was kind of weird about maybe they're not the correct office to. I did receive a response from Tulsi Gabbard's office, but I don't think there was ever any investigation into what I said.
So the call was, hey, I've been told the email.
Yes.
Email was, I've been told
I have information, that the French Foreign Legion was on the ground during Charlie's assassination, and that.
I'm surprised they didn't get back to her. I think that people underestimated Candace, but she's been kind of popping off recently. I feel like she's one of the most popular possible podcasters. I don't know.
I mean, it was a lot of information, but
you didn't give.
That's crazy. Andrew's getting kirked, and this debate is fucking insane.
Specifics who it was from.
Not in the first email, because I figured they would
Perfect.
Yeah.
So if they do contact you,
100,
are you
yes.
comfortable giving 100% who it is?
I would absolutely give them as much information as possible.
Can I ask a question? If whoever's the U.S. government, why are you not?
Yes, it's very strange to me.
So
whoever's the U.S. government? Oh, good question.
If that's the case, now they may respond back and say, we did, that's their position.
I did. That's why I did it in writing.
And so I'm glad that's the case because so if they
and
do
right
ask
away in
you,
Trump's office, his Margot got right back to me. She said it was on his desk. So he has that. There's no.
And if you do say that.
In his defense, Trump does not know how to read or write or do anything really.
And they contact that individual, obviously you don't have to leak your sources here. Is there enough credibility where that person would be willing to talk to them and explain to them exactly what their sources are?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, it
seems reasonable.
If she had proof, why would she not release a proof? She's apparently releasing it to them. So doubt there's any meaningful proof. It's probably some fucking whack job said something. But it would make sense to journalists do this all the time, where they have a confidential source that they don't express.
Reasonable. And so why he's asking me to defend that is
I'm not. Never
I think those are two different things. That's more something I
totally different claims.
Why are they not reaching out to you?
I've asked that many times on my podcast.
What do you think about that, Andrew?
What? Hey, Andrew, what do you think about that?
The fact that she emailed, she gave it, and nobody reached out to want to contact the source.
They probably didn't think it was actionable, is my guess. But even if they did think it was
how confident are you about that?
Actionable, great. Every lead should be followed up on within the confines of what's rational and reasonable.
Is it fair to say that this is
See, this is what I'm talking about. He's a fucking moron. Right there, you would, this is the debate guy. Right there, it'd be like, no, I think they didn't follow up on it because it's not actionable. I think that she's making, I think that, somebody possibly sent this link to her and she believed something that was not very credible. But instead he's like, well, then they should be actionable. You're giving, he doesn't even realize it, but he's not prepared to deal with this talking point. So he just says something. He doesn't understand anything. He doesn't really understand optics or anything. He's just a very emotional person with prepared conversations and dialogue trees. And the dialogue trees typically give him positives. But Andrew Wilson's, the majority of his content is just talking to OnlyFans girls and weird looking LGBTQ adjacent type people in the least honest way as possible, because that's the only thing that gets him views. And that's when he wins. He wins against people who don't really debate. But then he loses against people who debate, like that one black girl or person. I don't know. Maybe she's non-binary. Who the fuck knows? He gets fucking trashed. Or was it Emily? The one that's the sniz girl. Sniz person. I don't know. He's not ready for on the fly anything. That's why he tries to control the apparatus of a debate, because he can't actually think critically, and he's uncomfortable in silence. One of the biggest markers of unintelligence is if somebody can't be comfortable in silence. But you should be able to sit for a second in silence and think about something. You should be comfortable in a conversation, being like, oh, I need a second to process that. Or saying oh, that's something new that's been introduced to me. I don't really know how I feel about that. He's not comfortable with that. He's not a functioning person. He's a fucking low IQ computer that thinks that Grok or thinks that AI, because AI thinks he won the debate, means he won the debate. He is literally divorced to that energy, pleading to AI that he's actually did the right thing.
Maybe a different individual.
Her name is Candace. Okay. I wasn't talking about Candace Owens. I was talking about the other girl, the young girl.
Because this is a person that was involved. with TPUSA
Well, we don't-
had a relationship with
Wait,
Charlie.
who?
No, her relationship. Like
Yeah.
this isn't just anybody. So if an average person sends it, yes.
Yeah, but I mean, we don't know who the source is. We don't know any
Well,
of
then
this.
if you were in that department, wouldn't you want to, even you assign it to one of your
There's
guys
no
to
guarantee
say,
they didn't look into it. How do we know? We don't
How
know.
could they
No,
if
how
they didn't
could they
come
if
get
she didn't give it
the
to them?
information? More of the information because it
And
was a
by the
long
way,
file.
Yeah.
Got
Th-
him.
this is a separate. This
You
is
said yeah, but like she just owned him there again.
got
you
nothing
send
to
them
do
the
with the
guy's
debate.
name?
This is more on.
Well, I sent the email, assuming that's you kept saying like you go and you make a report. You think they're going to come back to you and say, "Hey, what's more information? We're investigating this," and that didn't happen, and which is what I raised.
No,
I
I'm
found
asking,
that,
did you send them the
especially
source of
because
the
this was at
claim?
a time where they were saying that they wanted to explore every possible lead. I even texted Dan Bongino.
But did you-
So actually, it was three offices.
Did he get fired or something? I mean, Trump's administration like drops like flies. So
Let me ask one
The
question. and then
executive
I'm gonna come to
office,
you.
Dan Bongino,
Yeah.
and Tulsi Gabbard's office.
Okay, so a follow up to that is the following:
Mm-hmm.
if they contact you to say, is that specifically to the French government or Israel's involvement in the killing of Charlie Kirk?
That wasn't about
Those
Israel.
are two separate things.
That wasn't about Israel. It was
Okay,
they were
got it.
saying the French foreign that person as a part of it was saying that it was the French Foreign Legion that was on the ground that
So
day.
I'm surprised
And
they
I
haven't
think
called you.
then I find that to be very strange too.
I do.
I'm not. It's probably fucking crazy. I think that she believes everything she's saying, but
Well,
because who would want to make a report? Like, I mean, I've never made a report with the federal
Let me
government.
ask one
did-
question.
but
Let me
what he
just
did
ask one
send
question.
it-
Let me just ask one question, and then I'm going to bring it to you.
Sure.
The question is in regards to. I've not seen that clip, so I'm seeing it now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm full confidence. I believe that Israel French was involved. Is that also based on a source that somebody told you that Israel was involved in the assassination of Charlie Kirk, or is that a gut feeling?
Wilson's probably thrilled right now that he's talking for him because he's getting fucking walked.
So in terms of Israel, I mean, what I've said is what I publicly have said here. I do think that at the end of this, we are going to find that Israel was involved. I do. Now, when in terms of any of the hard evidence that's been presented, I think this has been a huge problem that a lot of us have had is that they won't even explore anything else that was going on in Charlie's life personally. So if we're not satisfied that Tyler Robinson did this in any way, then every alternative theory should be explored. Other evidence should be brought forward. We've done that in our capacity. Like when people keep saying she has no evidence, it's kind of crazy. I think we've broken like more stories than any news source in the world. I mean, down to pictures, details, police officers, what the dog's name was, because we're not
What the dog's name was? What the fuck?
the only people that
There was a dog involved in this. What the hell?
believe there's a conspiracy here. The police officers that were involved, the many police, sheriff's offices,
Wow.
that were departments that were involved that day, all believe there was a conspiracy. Down to the U.S. Marshals believe there was a conspiracy. They were my sources at the U.S. Marshals were saying they were basically sent on a wild goose chase that day.
But you see how you say my sources? You're
Am I not allowed
Oh, yeah, we do notice that. No.
to have sources?
Well,
Like,
the thing is funny.
So is CNN allowed to have
well,
sources?
hang on. I
but
have
we can't?
sources. If I said I have sources that claim none of that's true. In fact, my sources claim that her sources are lying. My sources claim that there is none of them believe that there's a conspiracy. My sources claim all of them really think that Tyler Robinson was a lone gunman. If I just said that as hypothetical, wouldn't you say what?
Yeah,
It's a completely different situation. Because in this hypothetical, whether people want to like admit this or not, Candace Owens is somebody who's more credible than Andrew Wilson, and we know Andrew Wilson doesn't believe what he's saying. He's just saying it to be a contrarian. So this idea of like, well, what if I just said that? Nobody would give a fuck because it's not authentic coming from you. You're just saying something to say something. Like you don't have like, and you don't have an actual argument against her. So you're saying that. And this is the thing, like it's impossible to have an argument against her because she's a conspiracy theorist. But like you can't, like you're trying to do this like logical appeal. You're just saying something. Yeah, she is, and it's effective, and it's working, and she probably believes it. And I think that's something that people pick up on is that Candace Owens believes what she's saying, even if it's fucking crazy. But he doesn't understand that, so he's like, "Oh, actually, I'm like, she doesn't have an OnlyFans, so he's not going to be able to win this debate, right?" Like, that's not a reasonable argument. You can't just like, well, he's trying to prove her wrong when that's not how the type of like conspiracies don't have proof that they're correct in the first place. So the way that you go about it is you would really just do what they do. You cast doubt in somebody's mind. So you don't cast doubt in somebody's mind and say, well, what if I said no? Wow, you owned. Like, what? Like, cool, man. Like, great strategy. You did a really good job doing like the super debate shit. Good job. What if I said, actually, no? Like, oh, okay, great. No, you don't. That's not how you appeal to this situation. You would just cast doubt. But he doesn't know how to do that because again, he's a fucking debate pervert. So he doesn't know how to come up with any on the fly arguments.
I think what probably adds weight is like then when I drop photos of the car that no one was supposed to see, people go, okay, her sources are legit. So, and then when what I say is then proven in court and nobody knew those things, people are recognizing that my sources are legit. When I say Charlie was scared in the last days, and then I dropped the text message, which you've just learned about a couple of weeks ago, of him saying he was leaving the pro-Israel cause when everyone was lying about that, then they say,
I think it was really just that he wasn't going to support a war in Iran. That's not that's not like the most substantial, like I'm leaving Israel type of a thing. But okay.
I think Candace's sources are legit. So I think what's happened is I've actually built up a rapport with my audience that it's not vibes and
is true,
dreams,
though.
and that's why they keep watching my content, because I, like, for example, when I just the other day released the content of the shooter on the roof doing the lateral crawl, then they're going, I don't think these are just vibes. It seems like Candace's sources are legit. So I've proven myself in the market.
Yeah, I'm not sure that would legitimize your sources as being
It doesn't matter. He's an idiot. He's just saying, no, I don't believe you. That's not, again, it's not going to work.
legitimate when it comes to the idea that, oh, they all believe that there's a conspiracy going on, which is actually what your claim is now. How
Well,
would that
I was
actually,
just-
hang on, I'm almost done.
I was talking to PVT
How would
about
that legitimize, well, it's not his debate. How would it legitimize these sources that even if it's the case that you get some court footage or some things like this, why would it legitimize that your sources are telling you all the marshals believe it's a conspiracy, all the police believe it's a conspiracy, everybody believes it? How would that legitimize
Well,
any
what
of
I
that?
am saying to you
Well, I mean, that's not even the question to ask, right? It's like, okay, so some people also believe your conspiracy theory that happen to be in positions of power. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's true, right? Like, you're using their authority, but everybody's an individual, right? So, like, you might be you might be a police officer and you make money being a police officer, but you don't believe that you should beat the fuck out of your wife like what most police officers do, right? Like, yeah, some people have alternative opinions, even if they conflict with your job, right? That's how you would go about talking about that topic. You don't just say like, oh, well, it's probably not even true. What if it is? Like, who the fuck cares? Like, you're fucking, your local fucking grocery store worker. I don't know. Probably like every fucking person that hates capitalism is working a capitalist job, right? Like, and there's conflicts of interest in everything, like in everybody's perspective. But he doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't really know what he's doing. He's just saying words because he doesn't really know how to actually have a conversation or like really pick somebody's argument apart in any meaningful capacity unless he has it prepped up for like however many years. Like Andrew Wilson spent like the better part of like maybe even a decade just getting absolutely fucking like destroyed in every conversation that he would go on over and over and over and over again. And the reason that his arguments seem to work is because of the people he talks to and because he's used those arguments 500 times before and he's just found out a way that he gets positive audience feedback from. That's it. He doesn't actually know if he is or isn't right. He's just getting positive audience feedback. That's all it is.
and you are not forced to believe it. So let me just explain what I was answering here, and I think that you understood what I was saying. Is I have, because people trust me, compiled a lot of information and presented it to the public, and this information has been proven true. We've presented photos, we have presented videos, never before seen stuff. The public has never seen it. And so what that does is your audience goes, okay, when she says that she has these sources, clearly she's telling the truth. Now, whether you would then go, well, I'm going to believe her when she says they think that there's a conspiracy, that's up to you. You cannot watch my content. I'm not here to tell you that you have to watch my content or believe everything I'm saying.
Well, don't you think questioners should get questioned as well?
That was his rebuttal? Okay, cool. Yes. Isn't that what she's there for?
By who? I'm not committing a crime, am I? By just like saying what I think and collecting
aren't
evidence?
most of the people you ask questions of not actually committing crimes?
But what do you mean they should answer questions where? Like at a police station? Like,
no,
what are you
just
saying?
like if you want people to come in and answer questions for you. I have questions about this in the
He's there to ask her questions. I don't understand.
investigation. I have questions about this. I have questions about that. You want them to answer your questions. Doesn't it seem totally fair that you answer back the questions
That's what he's doing.
people have for you?
Well, they're not answering our questions, so it's also fair that they don't answer them.
So you're
That's
okay.
why I said
so I just
Andrew
wanna,
Colvett should be in this chair. He's not.
but
That's
isn't
his
that a double?
prerogative.
But isn't that a double standard?
No, it's not, because he's not doing it.
Yeah, but that would still be a double standard. If you're requesting that he does
He's so lame.
do it, then that seems to infer that you think
Sorry, gay people. I love you.
he owes you answers.
Oh, so inferences are allowed again?
And they never weren't. So that seems to infer that you think that he owes you answers. If that's the case, then don't you owe answers?
Yeah, well, I feel like I'm answering your questions.
It's ironic because Andrew Wilson refuses to answer questions in like every single debate that he's ever does. Like he refuses to do it. So I don't really know what what is he saying?
And his questions about, I mean, I'm talking about Andrew Colvett. His position is he's a spokesperson for Turning Point USA. So when the crowd turned against Turning Point USA on the basis of a lack of information or because there has been, I don't know, seeds sown of distrust, I would imagine, and forget answering my questions because it doesn't need to be me.
Aren't you sowing a lot of those seeds of distrust?
Well, I think they're doing a pretty good job themselves, if I'm being honest. You can blame it on Candace all you want.
Well,
People love to do that.
The thing is funny is
people
like,
act like I'm
I think
ground
they're
zero.
PR. I'll
I think
be fair with you.
I'm ground zero of people not trusting
I'll be fair with you.
Turning Point USA.
I think that there was some
actually kind
PR
of
there. I think there was some PR there. Sure, they could have done better. Absolutely. I'm not disputing any of that. One thing, though, that I want to just directly ask you is, do you actually believe that anybody in TPUSA or Erica Kirk
He's asking a question again too, like he's asking quite like legal questions. This was the goal the whole time, I think.
or Erica actually participated, had foreknowledge of, or facilitated the murder of Charlie Kirk?
I'm not going to get myself into a legal pickle here. Everything I've said is on my podcast. I think firmly that if I was the investigating officers, I would seat them all and I would ask questions. I would.
From a legal perspective, there's literally no reason that she should answer that question
at this phase. I would.
Okay,
so
what does that
hypothetical.
Does that mean that you do think so?
I think it was not a sufficient investigation into what we know to be true of 80%.
His cancer was actually terrifying. But yeah, she should not answer this question.
Of homicides, it's usually conducted by someone you know, right? And the fact that was never even considered, that like I said earlier, the backpack was returned.
How do you know that was never considered?
Because they gave back the backpack, as just one example. They gave back the backpack. They gave back the...
That doesn't show a conspiracy.
Well, I mean, it shows that the police trusted everybody and didn't just hold things up for a second.
Yeah, they ruled them out as suspects.
That quickly, I'm not comfortable with that investigation. It's a pretty big organization. There's a $100 million incentive. This is...
What $100 million incentive?
What I'm saying is his organization, like it had grown to, I think it was 100
plus per year.
Yeah, per year, if that's something you want to factor.
Yeah, but what was
your team wants to play video, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
There's a video they want to play of Candace.
Damn, he's just so boring and ineffective, dude. It's fucking insane.
Said it's impossible to not believe Erica's complicit. If you guys want to play that video.
Yeah. Also just
and so right now their guys are going out and they're going to look for evidence. And then by May, which is fortunately around the corner, then she'll see what they found. So what the F is that performance? How could you sit up there and say, yes, I 100% believe Tyler Robinson did it. That right there is why it is impossible for me to think that Erica Kirk is not complicit somehow. Because what?
Those two thoughts actually don't even follow. How would it be the case that even if Erica Kirk did believe that Tyler Robinson was 100% responsible for the death of Charlie Kirk?
I don't really understand her argument there. Is her argument that she's having people investigate and probe other possibilities? So the fact that she was so confident that it was Tyler Robinson is like a problem? I would honestly just ask, like, what? I don't even understand what that means. I'm so confused. It's very conspiracy-esque. I don't understand like her problem. So I don't really understand what's going on here.
Those two thoughts actually don't even follow. How would it be the case that
this is what I'm saying. Like, you don't reply to this with an accusation. You reply with a clarification. Literally, I don't understand what you're trying to say there. Because to me, like, yeah, it sounds like it makes sense that he seemed to have done it. So it makes sense that she would be confident that he did it. So like, that's what you asked. That's what you would ask to try to like cast doubt or even just to understand. Like, what is your argument? I personally don't get it, so I'd ask for clarification. But it says like, actually, you're not going to win with that. Her argument is that because they don't auto go to conspiracy brain, Erica's wrong. Yeah, that's what it seems like. But I would ask for clarification, get her to explain herself. But he's not. He's going to go on the offensive because again, he's dumb. And he also doesn't like feel comfortable not understanding things. Like that's something like he's very insecure. He doesn't feel comfortable like hearing like, hey, I don't understand what that means. There's nothing wrong with saying I don't understand what something means. Nothing wrong with clarifying it. Being too insecure to ask that question, I think, is an actual fucking plague of society. But
even if Erica Kirk did believe that Tyler Robinson was 100% responsible for the death of Charlie Kirk, let's say she believed it with every fiber of her being, believed all the evidence, because she did. She just actually did.
Well, so why are we pretending it's a scenario? I don't understand.
Would it then follow that somehow she's complicit in his death?
The argument would be more of like, oh, well, let's say that she believed it and it was wrong. It doesn't mean she's complicit. Is that what he said? That's not what he said, is it? Am I fucking stupid?
I didn't say complicit in death. You added those two words.
Okay, so what's she complicit in?
Yes.
Dude, he tried to trap her again.
So sowing this narrative that Tyler Robinson is guilty. So you're chopping up clips. Like I said, you didn't have the confidence to come into debate.
Tell me, what does that mean? What does complicit mean?
We are showing a clip of her on Barry Weiss, which I can't remember the date that she did that interview. And Erica, when she is asked, do you feel with 100% certainty that Tyler Robinson did this? And she says, I do. Then again, context.
Okay.
Matters. I sit down with Erica for 4 hours under the assumption that she had some evidence, right? Like I'm like, this is why I did not engage in any like Erica, everyone's questioning what she's wearing and all this stuff. I was like, I'm going to wait here because I don't know, just it feels weird to think that, did I think that some of her mannerisms were weird and stuff like that? Yeah, but that's not, you can't convict somebody on weird mannerisms. And then when I sat down with her and I was expecting for her to say, well, I'm obviously the victim on the case and we got to see the shot, taken or this or that, whatever it is. Great. That's why she has that much confidence 2 months ago. And when I sat down with her, it was nothing. Okay. So this is a conversation.
How would that make her complicit?
Complicit. And again, you said complicit in the death of Charlie Kirk.
Complicit in what? Yeah.
Well, if you let me finish my sentence, I could tell you that. But my point being is that then you take a look at this and you go, okay, well, this is weird. Why would you have this confidence? And then when you sit across from somebody and you say, okay, great, I want to go out there and defend you now. I want people to know that you can't say this stuff publicly, but you know more things. And she just blanks. And then she says, well, I'm going to call the lawyer. And she called the lawyer. Again, all this is on my show. So out of context clips is not going to work because I know what I say on my show. Okay. So we call her lawyer and her lawyer says to us, she calls him on the phone, pardon me. And it's me, her, and Justin Strife. And I'm like, okay, great. What do you guys have? He goes, well, we don't have anything yet. We're not at that phase yet. And I'm like, well, what do you mean you don't have anything? And he says, well, don't you know how it works? It's a probable cause hearing. So basically the state says that they're going to bring this forward. And now our people go out and they look for the evidence to assert that Tyler Robinson is guilty. And so I asked her directly, her lawyer directly, the phone's in between us. I'm like, wait, so just so I'm clear, you haven't seen anything that the public hasn't seen? And he says, no. So I'm going back in my head and I'm going, okay, so why is Erica saying with such a degree of certainty, like she was sent out to convince the public and people bit, by the way. I remember even Megyn Kelly was like,
well, it's the most likely person who did it. So that's probably why she's saying that, but okay.
Let's wait. She's going to have access to things. I did think she had access to things that we didn't have. Why express that confidence to the public as opposed to just...
Why is this any different from Candace not leaking sources? Well, because Candace is claiming to have information that changes context. They're claiming that they have no additional information, but they still believe it's true. That's what her point is here.
Being like, we don't know yet. I feel confident he's involved. They made an arrest.
I don't understand. How would any of this make her complicit and in what?
Well, I've already told you. She's complicit in trying to fool the public into thinking this is some open and shut case.
How's she trying to fool the public into this? If she believes it,
don't look anywhere else.
If she believes that Tyler Robinson killed Kirk, if she believes that, how would that be complicit in anything?
I do.
Are you saying that you think she doesn't believe it?
I don't believe that at that stage she sat down with Barry Weiss that's what she believes. No, but that's my opinion.
Right. But so when you just say complicit, you just mean she believes that Tyler Robinson killed Kirk? That's it?
That's what we were talking about. That's why I said if your strategy was to dice up clips and take it out of context and make it seem like I said
he's really trying to push for this lawsuit here.
Explain everything.
Yeah, but then why not just play the full thing? Like why?
Because we don't have like infinite amounts of time. I'm guessing you probably don't want to watch.
I'm going to go back to my theory that you didn't feel confident that you could defend your claim that it was overwhelming evidence. So now you're trying to move towards doctored clips. And
he said overwhelming evidence, but didn't he say he was only 85% like sure of himself in the beginning? Pretty sure that's true. And then he defined overwhelmed as he really believes it, which is so like pretty good stuff.
Well, there's no doctrine in anything. I'm just making sure that we got this right.
Yes,
that what you're actually saying is that Erica is just complicit in believing it.
When I re-examined her actions backward, because I did not have this perspective of her.
Is that what Rachel Wilson said? This was an examination, not a debate? That makes absolutely no sense because Andrew Wilson's not an examiner. He's a debater. He's a debate pervert. He wouldn't be able to sit down and like have an examination and like go through and like actually do intelligent like examination. Like that's not what he is. He debates OnlyFans girls for a living. Like I don't understand what that means.
At the beginning,
like he's still stuck in like 2020 TikTok when it was like, hey, let's bully fucking LGBTQ people for being cringe, and that's what they do. That's what whatever podcast is literally like. Let's find people that are cringe and we'll pay them to be even more cringe. Probably, I would imagine there's a financial incentive. So.
Which is why it's so funny to me that you guys make it seem like I'm ground zero. People thought Erica was sus from day I forgive him. And I was not a part of that. I did not lean into that. I did not contribute.
Oh, yeah. She said she forgives him on that. Like, right. Wasn't that like Charlie Kirk's memorial? She was trying to like virtue signal Christianity. It's fucking crazy. I remember that.
Due to that, I was getting actually terrible messages from my fans being like, Candace, you and Charlie always say to go with your intuition. You won't address this, how we all feel about her. Things changed for me when I saw that Zoom call. I will tell you that for sure. And the fact that she lied to me. So I sat across from her and, I wanted to have that conversation publicly, but they're probably grateful they didn't do it publicly. She told me some lies. And so the next thing that happens naturally when somebody lies to you, when any person lies to you, whether it's a toddler, people only lie when they're trying to obscure something else.
Have you addressed what that lie was?
Yeah, I've talked about, we have a list of lies that we've been told about. So we can find that,
in the meeting with her.
Well, no, I didn't want her to cage up. I didn't want to do this, and because I didn't know what to expect. Like I didn't know if she was going to be like, I'm so overwhelmed with everything, and I don't know who to trust in the organization, and I don't know what I'm doing. Like I didn't know. I didn't want to.
Just out of curiosity, before anything happened with Charlie, how close were you and Erica?
Not very close.
So there's not a relationship.
No, I would say.
Damn, I thought she would have been the best man at the wedding.
Totally normal. Like it's not like there was any issues at all. We were always nice to each other. It just is. Our life went to a different phase, right? So Charlie and I hitting the ground, running around, traveling 4 days a week. Now I get married. I find love of my life. I get married and I get pregnant. I haven't stopped being pregnant. And what you want out of life changes. You don't want to be running around for 4 days a week and traveling on a plane nonstop. You suddenly want to start building at home and live. I was desiring that suburban life.
Did you guys ever do the double dates? You, George, her, and Charlie? Was there ever double dates between the four of you?
I was engaged to George quickly. We were planning our wedding. I was kind of in my bubble with George. George traveled with me and Charlie, but Erica and him were just starting to date at the beginning of 2019. George and I were planning our marriage. So George really got to know Charlie. I wouldn't say that I really got to know Erica. I was just rooting for them because I knew how much Charlie wanted to, find love. And so I was kind of his wing woman throughout that phase. And I was just happy. And I never was under the impression, obviously, that they were going to get married when they were dating. So it wasn't like I was conscious, I really need to get to know this person. And so it was just kind of normal that by that time, because of where I was in my life, that I wasn't spending any time getting to know Erica,
so,
per se.
So the complicit part about Erica to you, is that a gut feeling? You think
it transformed when she lied?
You can take the lead. I'm just asking questions.
Yes.
If you want to go for it.
I actually don't. I still don't understand what you think she's complicit in.
Yeah. So when I say Erica's complicit, that's my opinion. When you tweeted Erica's too retarded to kill her husband.
Yeah.
You think that's what made TPUSA unfollow him or what?
Would you like to explain how you developed your evidence, your positive evidence for the fact that Erica was retarded?
Dude, what the fuck, bro? That's insane.
Yeah, sure. So
Yeah.
I just think all women are retarded.
Oh, so you're allowed to just say stuff. Who knew? So, and
You
what,
just
and by
asked
the way,
me.
and
Like,
what dramatically transformed your opinion of Erica after going to the headquarters? Because you were pretty hostile about.
I wasn't hostile towards them.
You don't think calling
Bro, this is so funny because he just instantly got bitched out. Like instantaneously just got bitched out. This is actually so funny.
somebody too retarded?
No, come on. That's like normal tongue-in-cheek stuff for me online.
Oh, you're being tongue in cheek.
Yeah, usually when I call someone retarded, I'm being tongue-in-cheek, yeah. Like, for instance, you got supporters. I mean, if you want to use the same exact argument, you would take a supporter like Owen Benjamin. He called you bad names and called your husband bad names.
Is Owen Benjamin the guy that Andrew Wilson justified killing children to? Is that who that is? I was about to go look this up, but like this guy looks. This is just a very different picture here. I'm so sorry. Like this looks like. It looks like. It looks like she likes to be blacked and he likes to watch. Like that's what this looks like. What the fuck? All right. Anyway, that's not what I was looking for. Sorry, guys. There's nothing wrong with that, by the way. As long as it's consensual, there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's perfectly valid. Anyway, I was trying to look for to see if it was what is it, Owen who? I'll show the clip of what I'm talking about. I might be wrong about the person. Is this the guy?
Sides.
Jesus Christ. I don't think that's who I was talking about this guy.
Of Donald Trump killing pedophiles in the Middle East?
First of all, do you know every single person? Were those schoolgirls pedophiles?
It's institutionalized in the Iranian
No.
Constitution.
Were the 200 schoolgirls pedophiles?
You want to make sure that they're alive so they can get raped?
Unironic. It's a little ironic since he thinks women should be thankful that they men don't rape them, and also that he thinks you can't rape your spouse.
But that aside, no, of course not. But
So great stuff. But anyway, that's what I thought we were talking about.
You bad names and called your husband bad names. You're just like, well, that's no biggie.
I've never answered him on anything that he said. I'm saying that you now are her biggest defender. So do you still think
I'm
she's
not
too,
her biggest defender.
Do you still think
He kind of is.
she's too retarded?
No. I didn't know Erica Kirk. I'd never met her before.
Okay, but you had an issue with Turning Point being led by a bunch of fembots, talking about
Still
the
do.
feminist angle.
Still do.
And then suddenly you go to the
Still think
headquarters.
it's a terrible idea.
You go into the headquarters.
Does Andrew Wilson not realize he's like one of the most feminine men that have ever existed in the entire world, or like is he on like mega cope? Like what's going on with that? I don't understand.
Now all of a sudden you've got text messages that you're sharing with them. You say that you and your wife are getting involved with
Oh, that's Owen Schroyer. Was that how you say it? Sorry.
management.
No. I'm not involved in any management at Turning Point.
Well,
USA.
I'm pretty sure there is a clip of you where you say that your wife went to their recent conference and sat down, and then when you were on Joe Rogan.
No. Hang on. I'll explain what happened just so that you understand.
Yeah.
Well, he's gonna lie, so you can't really take him that fact. But okay.
So I was invited there to do some debate training.
There you go. He works for TPUSA, baby.
That's literally what I was invited there to do.
So you work for them, or worked for them. You have a vested interest in them. Okay.
On recommendation. So I went down and did some debate. That's the first time I ever met anybody at TPUSA.
Okay, and then you said you sat down with Erica.
Well, I didn't sit down to her. I talked to her in a hallway.
You notice how that's not anything different? Like that's an Andrew Wilson debate tactic. You say something like when people say, "Oh, you sat down with somebody," they don't mean that you literally sat down. You'd have to be a moron dipshit to say something like that. You're just trying to be like a little booger boy. right? Most people understand, and you're like, yeah, you had a conversation. Sitting down with somebody is usually like you'll have a conversation with them, usually a little bit longer. Oh yeah. You didn't sit down with them. I just talked to her for half an hour standing up outside so I could smoke cigarettes. So it's like, oh, this is the same thing. You sat down with somebody. It doesn't mean you literally sit down. It's just a phrase. He was there for Veterans Appreciation Day. True, very true.
So you didn't sit down and speak with Erica?
No, I didn't have like some sit down long conversation. We talked in the hallway.
Okay.
For how long?
Is that when you gave her the hug?
Yeah, gave her the hug right there. My wife did too. We were both very sorry for what happened.
Okay,
to
so
her.
at what
Damn, did you like it? She smelled nice.
point did you start receiving text messages from that you
Notice how he wouldn't tell her how long they were having this conversation for. He was about to, but he didn't do it.
cited in your opening statement?
I just reached out to TPUSA and said, I'm prepping for a debate. Is there anything that's pertinent that I can use here?
Wait, he's such a dumb fuck. He sat down, he was asking TPUSA what he should say in the debate. That's funny. Holy fuck. Wow.
I find it interesting that people have been asking for, basic answers to questions, and you're saying that you walked into their headquarters and reached out and they
It's amazing, isn't it? If you reach out in good faith and you're not demonizing them and saying that they're complicit in the murder of people's deaths, that perhaps they're actually willing to release things.
Well, you got paid by them to work for them, and then you asked them first probably legal question. What should I ask? What legal thing should I ask to try to trip them up so I can get you a lawsuit, Erica? Erica probably gave him like a hand job or something.
To you that are pertinent, other than thinking that, perhaps you're diabolical.
Well, I don't know. I feel like if I was going to release that information, I didn't demand that it be released to me. I actually never demanded that it be released. I just simply said that this is what was going on in the last 48 hours. Maybe to the media they could release it. They could release it to PBD. They decided to release it to a guy that called Erica too retarded in June.
So what?
Yeah, I just think it kind of shows that Turning Point is sending you as their horse.
Well, I don't know where
they don't have the courage to have the conversation. If they were just releasing something in good faith to answer questions.
He's terrified. He can't stop talking.
I've never demanded.
Do you have any evidence of that claim? Yeah. She just laid out the evidence. Do you have any evidence? She just laid out evidence of that. It's not proof, but it's evidence. It's pretty compelling stuff, guys. So
it's not evidence. You're sharing your opinion that she's too retarded. I can't share my opinion, but I think it's going to register as really obvious to the public that rather than presenting that throughout the course of everybody wanting to know what Charlie was going through his last days, they decided to give it to you to come to my house as some sort of a surprise.
Well,
do you think the public's not smart enough to see through that?
Do you think that if
it's talking about terrible PR,
if you know that there's a huge debate that's coming up, that's going to be probably one of the most viewed that year, and one of the debaters calls you and says, I'm taking this position. This is the position that I feel like there's the most evidence for. And Candace also agreed to answer many of my questions in regards to this. So if you got pertinent evidence here that I can use, I'd definitely like to take a look.
What is that?
It was actually amazing.
Well, why would you I don't understand. Why would you message them unless you wanted to help them out? What information do they have? What information could they possibly have? I don't understand.
Amazing to me. It really was actually amazing to me how if you approach people in good faith and just say, hey, I'd actually like to know what the facts and details are around this, they actually do talk to you. It's amazing.
Yeah, I just
Well, if you're willing to sweep for them, of course they would do that. No?
do not believe that they are doing this in good faith. I don't believe that anything you have done has demonstrated that's in good faith. It demonstrates that you walked into Turning Point USA headquarters and came out a different man because you were critical of the organization. You were critical of Erica, and now you're sitting here going, Candace, I want to interrogate you for an hour and a half about everything you've ever said about Erica.
Have you ever been critical of somebody that you hadn't met and then you meet him and you're less critical of them?
Well, he said he still was. Now he's saying that he's not.
And the inverse has happened too. I was less critical about Erica, and now I'm more critical about her.
But I'm asking you, isn't it the case that there's people you've been critical of, and then you've met them, and you're less critical after you meet them?
Too retarded. I feel like if you think that she's dumb, and let's just talk about your record. I mean, you're a person that has spent time in what most people would term to be the manosphere, talking about feminism. Well, yeah,
I debate against
against feminists
and red pillars.
Okay,
and
he doesn't really do that in any meaningful capacity. He's full of shit.
A lot of the actual. So I'm a Christian ethicist.
And then you go on to Joe Rogan and you're like soft explaining away why Erica had to take over Charlie's company when they don't have a parent at home. So now you're a feminist icon. Like you just go into the headquarters and you just shift all of your perspectives.
That's a bizarre criticism. Like nobody.
I don't know. It's not really that bizarre. I mean, maybe. I mean, not taking care of your young kids. I don't know if that's truly one of your values. Why wouldn't you focus on that?
He's in the bigger girl boss position than you.
Yeah, I'm actually
You're in the biggest of the girl boss positions. Like you don't have to do this. You just do this. You could definitely not do it at all and be fine, right?
It's not about that. It's about her not taking care of her kids. Right, which is fine. Most other people wouldn't have an issue unless you're in this type of a sphere. So,
but you still do.
I would say that you are making a comparison that cannot be compared because Erica's husband was just assassinated in front of the world.
Which makes sense. Why she would take the organization over?
No, it makes sense why you would go home to your kids. Just so you know.
Wait a second. That's bizarre.
Yeah, they don't have a parent. They don't have a parent, and they've just suffered a trauma. You don't go into the office.
You want to protect.
She might be valid for that. I don't know. I might just also not like Erica Kirk, but who knows?
Your husband's legacy,
Yeah,
right?
no.
And you're trying to find some
The
new
legacy
normal.
is his children, not the organization.
It's both.
No,
Yes,
It would be both. But
it is both. It's totally rational and reasonable.
at this point, like Andrew has no good faith anymore. Like he's pretty much just looks like a fucking goofy dingus. So
To
Nope.
believe that it would be both Turning Point USA, that is part of Charlie Kirk's legacy. He worked his whole life
think
for
this
it.
is why people think she's sus.
and his children. Now, for you though to say that anybody's a girl boss, right? That's like the pot calling the kettle black.
That came out of your mouth.
whoa, black! What the hell is that?
No, if that was you brought up girl boss.
Girl boss came out of your mouth.
Yeah, I'm telling you that you brought up this idea that I'm defending some feminist nonsense. I'm not. I'm pointing out that they're by the way,
She's not qualified
there's always
to take over his company.
There's always objective outliers to each situation. In fact, it's the exception that proves the rule. And the interesting thing here is like, I'm still just as critical of feminism inside of TPUSA as I've always been. And I'm just as critical of any pro-Zionist position as I've ever been. None of that's ever changed.
What does that have to do with anything? Did I miss? What does the Zionism shit have to do with anything? Why would he even bring that up? Am I dumb? What's the logic there?
By the way, I would think it's the most
Why would he bring up Zion? Why would he bring that up? I don't understand. Also, he's not critical of Zionism. I unironically showed you that clip before of him justifying bombing children, like Israel bombing children. So I don't really know what the fuck he's talking about.
rational, reasonable thing on planet Earth to
What?
do if you wanted to actually see
Was that like a weird self-report? What the hell?
an organization change, to try to work with leadership or reach out to leadership to try to do so. Doesn't that make the most amount of sense?
I would like to state for the record that I think Erica is underqualified to run the organization, and on the more emotional
Why concede that? That's probably why they unfollowed him.
aspects. I agree with what seems to be a majority opinion, 'cause I'm not gonna say it's scientific, that any woman that would leave her kids and go right into the office after their husband was publicly assassinated does not have their priorities straight.
Okay.
Or maybe. I mean, if they had to get back to work, but Erica's rich, so I don't know.
Okay. Well, I understand that you can have those criticisms, but I'm not understanding still how that would make her complicit.
I don't have to keep answering the same question.
Okay,
So
but
let's
you-
get
you-
That's a good answer from her.
got an answer to how it's complicit?
Your team is asking to play a clip. So if we
Okay.
want to play this clip to just finish this segment
Who's this? How many people are on this team are from TPUSA? I wonder.
on the Erica Kirk topic, we can spend some time on that as well. So
Okay.
if you guys are ready in the back, we're ready.
and causing that 30-06 diameter, as would happen with a pet and explosives, as we've demonstrated to you in the past, it accidentally, because of how Charlie was crouched, went up and hit his neck. And that ruined everything. That ruined everything. It was problematic. It's the reason why Terrell then had to scramble to get the cameras down, because they were never supposed to see it. They could have said reasonably that a 30-06 got eaten by Charlie, much more reasonably, obviously, than saying that the chicken bones in his neck stopped it because he ate vegetables. They panicked. That's why Terrell's nervous on the phone with me. Again, this is my theory, and I am now very much sticking to it. Okay. They panicked. It's the reason Erica had to step out. That's why she would have gotten on the phone with Terrell so quickly, because I was going, why is Terrell saying, well, I didn't want Erica to relive, oh, that's why I did it. He didn't have an answer. He was nervous. It was crazy. But he acknowledged it. He spoke to Erica immediately. Why did you speak to Erica immediately?
So do you believe that there was a shape charge that killed Charlie?
Hey, can I ask you why you keep starting clips mid-sentence?
Probably to get to where the clip is.
No, it doesn't seem that way, because you can always start a clip at the beginning of a sentence. Like you're just it's completely out of context.
Wait,
But
I didn't prepare the clips, but
yeah,
I didn't, but it's fine.
Well, his team did, and that sounds like a tactic that he would engage in.
I had to ask it to back it
Like
up.
I said, I don't need to say what's happening here because the internet will clock it. But in this episode, we are now going, and that's why I said we're now going to look at some alternative theories. I made it very clear that this was a theory that I didn't want to look at. This is, I believe, because I don't have every episode in my head, but I'm pretty sure this is an episode where we presented the evidence that was in the car, the photos of what was in the car, right? And so we are now inferring off of what we see in the car that this very much does look like.
Why did he say? It sounds like he was acknowledging what she was saying when he just said he doesn't really know about the clips. Okay,
That we see a bunch of shattered Rode microphone, which was an early theory that I was actually interested in, but couldn't really wrap my head around what was the shape charge explosive. As I say at the beginning of the episode, it was just not my expertise, and I was concerning myself with timelines and stories and statements that didn't make sense. Without question, Terrell Farnsworth is someone who made me think that we were missing a big part of the story. So I'm walking them through John Bray's theory. If we started to insert what we are actually observing with the evidence that we're taking a look at and what took place that day. So we're completely in the hypothetical right here. and you're now introducing this.
If that's the case, if you're just hypothetically exploring it,
and
that's why I'm just asking directly.
Yes, but that's obvious when you watch this episode. So that's why it feels like I'm in the middle of an interview with CNN when they like pull up random clips and they're like, "What's this? What's this?"
Damn. That's what's kind of funny. That one's funny because like that's kind of like a low effort criticism. Oh, it's like I'm on CNN right now, right? But it's totally going to work with his audience. They're like, yeah, Andrew, you do sound like you're trying to take things out of context, especially since he instantly conceded. So I don't really know what the fuck they're talking about, but right there, like he instantly conceded. Oh, if that's just what you're talking about, I don't know. I'm just asking questions. But now people think that his just asking questions is just an attempt to him to try to like extract information. He instantly conceded to the clip. He wasn't even strong in it. I guess he didn't really know about what was going on. But I feel like you should have known what the fuck was going on, because that, like, it makes you look bad to just bring up a clip. She explains the context and you instantly concede on it. And now you look like you're just being a dickhead. Like, okay.
You watch the episode, you
I'm
know
just
what
trying
it
to make
is.
sure. Do you think that your alternative theory?
I think John Bray's theory should be explored. Yes.
Okay. Do you think that Charlie Kirk was killed with an explosive?
I think that is a possibility. Yes.
Okay,
And it
good.
should be explored. He's done a lot of work on it. John Bray has done good work, and I think that that's why that theory is now starting to gain steam since we released the second set of the photos of what was in the car. I think it's viable.
So this was the big thing I wanted to get into with you on the explosives too. What is it about that theory that's actually compelling to you? So I looked into the explosive mic theory.
I don't know if you guys know this, but Andrew Wilson is actually a professional bomb technician. I can't speak today. He's a professional bomb technician for the military. He used to do that after he was a professional sniper. So
Multiple times. And
he was actually a bomb sniper. He would shoot the bombs underground with his sniper rifle, and he could just sense where they were with vibes.
the biggest thing that stood out to me is there's no explosion. there's literally no explosion. In fact, there's videos when the shot rings out that kills Charlie. At least it sounds like a shot to me. People are actually like looking up towards where the gun is being fired. They're looking away for where the sound is. Like, where's the actual explosion?
Well, for every person that you say looks away, there's going to be a person that was looking forward. We have former Marines that have gotten on and said, it looks to me like there's
Well, he is a former Marine, though, right? Like, he was a Marine sniper.
explosion under his shirt, right? You obviously saw Rob O'Neill go on to, I'm forgetting which platform it was, where he said, it's the first thing I thought was
Rob
like,
O'Neill is the man that killed Osama bin Laden.
yeah, and I think he's qualified to say what he believes he saw. We should actually, since they're pulling clips, we should run that clip of Rob O'Neill and what he said and what he
that's
observed
fine.
in his experience.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take that. And also there were people who immediately spoke to the media that day who said the same thing, that they thought that something happened under his shirt. That was actually, if you go back to like my first episode, when I was just observing what I saw with my eyes, I was asking the serious question. I was seriously saying, why is it like somebody shot him from underneath? Why is his shirt moving first? That doesn't make sense to me. And
That's because of air dispersal from the bullet. So
That doesn't really make sense to me.
whenever a bullet is shot, a projectile shot, you can actually run this experiment yourself if you have a rifle.
Mm-hmm.
What are you telling her to shoot herself? What?
Take like an empty box of ammunition and put it on the table, and then fire it near the muzzle, and that box will actually blow off the table.
Okay, so
But they were quite a distance away, no? So would that still hold true? What?
question for you: does that box go sideways off a table?
It can.
It can.
Yeah, it can. It depends on the dispersal.
You 3,000 pounds of energy or 2,000 pounds of energy coming at you. That's how much it carries.
Well, it's not
30-06.
2,000 pounds of energy.
Well, we can fact check that.
That's-
How many pounds of energy is it? A 30-06 being shot 150 yards away. That's a great question for Grok. I'm going to say when we looked at it, it was between 1,500 and 2,000. I'm pretty sure pounds of energy coming at you, and you just go upward and to the side. I don't really buy that. I'm going to just say I just think that that's not
but
possible. It doesn't go through on top of that. So there's another miracle. You didn't get blown backwards. It didn't go
if
through.
air is-
But I also want to say that you're saying this can happen, and Rob O'Neill is infinitely more qualified, I think, to speak on that.
Why?
And because he's actually shot and killed people.
Why would that have anything to do with anything?
Yeah, Andrew was a sniper. What the fuck?
Did he slow down all the videos of the people he shot to see if their clothes moved?
Well, why are you able to assert your position as a fact?
Because I'm gonna tell you how projectiles work. He's not even gonna I guarantee you this guy's not even gonna disagree with what I'm about to say. If it is the case that you have energy and you have mass, and the mass is moving in the air has to go somewhere. It doesn't have a choice.
I think you're totally BSing right now, man.
Not only am I not BSing, I'm telling you the truth. If a bullet is moving in air, air has to move.
Dude, there's so like little like charity for this guy at this point that it doesn't matter what he says. Like he's just a goofball. What he's saying might be true. Nobody cares. Like, he just sounds like a fucking goofy doofus at this point.
Out of way of bullet.
Well, maybe not at the bottom of a shirt here. I don't know. I disagree with that. I'd like to say, for the record, I've watched some of you do these sorts of things where you assert something with a lot of confidence, and
You can fact check it. Fact check if bullets displace air.
Not about whether it displaces air, it's where it dispersed the air. Underneath his shirt here.
It's not underneath the shirt.
A bullet's this big, and you're telling me it's going to hit his neck,
Candace,
and then
it's not
it
underneath
is beneath
the
his shirt. The
It
shirt
starts
puffs.
up here, and the collar's moving, and then you see the wave here as he's moving backwards.
No.
Yeah.
That's not true.
It's not.
And we obviously can't show that clip. I disagree with you.
Okay, I understand you can't show it for TOS purposes.
Exactly.
That's fine.
I disagree with you. People can go watch and make up their own minds. We don't need to debate it. Whether or not that was the first thing I said was, why is his shirt moving first? That didn't make sense to me. It almost looks just like this. It goes across. His necklace breaks first before Charlie even reacts. If you watch it in slow.
Yeah, they're debating on how, like, well, she seems to think that it was some kind of a, projectile, that the microphone maybe exploded or something. I have no idea. It seems preposterous to me.
His necklace breaks first, which I thought was very odd, and then you see a puff here, and then the next thing you know,
It's like ridiculous.
there's the entry wound on his neck. I would not confidently assert that I see smoke. I've never said it on my
Do you
platform.
think that an explosion generally has smoke?
I don't think that there's any quality version of video that would get us to be able to answer that question other than Terrell's 4K footage that he has from the front. So
There's a lot of, if you look at the Israeli pagers, it's assumed that it's a similar, if not the same type of explosive that was used inside the pagers that would have been used inside of this road mic.
I think that you should, since you love debating, you should debate someone like John Bray, who's worked on that theory for 11 months, and ask those sorts of questions of how a shaped charge would work. I presented the evidence of what was in the car, and I also, at that episode that you're clipping, said John Bray has done an unbelievable amount of work on this, and I think he has debated a ton of people, actually, regarding this topic. So that's the route that I would send you on. For the purpose of my show, I do believe, to answer your question, that it is a hypothetical. I mean, that it is a theory that should be thoroughly explored.
There's two clips your team wants to show. One of them is the Rob O'Neill clip, since we're on it. So if you guys are ready in the back before we go to ad break.
You think Andrew's actually going to talk to that guy? Is Andrew more correct there? Maybe. I don't know. That's true. I guess an exploding microphone would disperse air. Who the fuck knows, dude?
If you want to pull it up, this is a good time to do so.
And good to see you, General Holt. A lot of things bother bothers me about this. Nothing in particular. It's not like I'm out there saying big lie or conspiracy or someone did it. I'm just saying I've been in a lot of shootings. I've killed more than a handful of people, and this thing looked shady off the bat. I mean, I've killed people closer than I saw the camera, and I've never seen a shirt move like that. That looks like an explosion to me. Just the fact that no one started doing first aid to Charlie Kirk, they were more concerned about getting SIM cards out of cameras, removing cameras, and then getting him off the X somehow. There didn't seem a lot of concern for his life. It seemed like just clean it up. And then, I mean, I've been told they paved it over a couple days later. And then you get Erica Kirk behind all the razzle dazzle, and she's really quick to forgive the alleged shooter, which technically says that was him because I forgive him, but that you can't forgive Candace Owens for having an opinion or asking questions. And they mock people by saying, "Oh, I'm just asking questions." Yeah, I'm a SEAL Team 6 sniper. I'm asking a lot of questions. No one wants
This guy talks like he's fucking insane. But okay, fair enough. I mean, okay.
to answer him.
And you're able to ask.
He's actually said very little about the explosive there. So
Okay, well, what's the point of you bringing that clip up? It sounds like he was just saying that, like, yeah, it looked more like an explosive to him, and that there's a lot of questions to ask. I don't understand what the point of the clip was.
I'm saying he said he's shot people up close, and he's never seen a shirt move like that, and it looked to him like an explosive. That's what he just said.
But when I play that video at full speed, I can't see a shirt moving. I can only.
I mean, do we feel like watching it? I frankly don't care. So I'm not going to watch this guy get shot again.
I see a shirt moving when we slow it way down. So if I'm in real time, I'm just assuming this, right? I mean, if I was in real time and I was in like a close quarters combat, you kill somebody situation, and I shot them, would you even see the shirt move?
Well, I just feel like,
what does that have to do with anything? They're watching the cameras afterward. What?
5 minutes ago, you were arguing that it was because the bullet carried air. Now you're saying you don't see the shirt move at all.
Yeah, but that's if you slow it down, the disbursement of air, that's where you're going to see it, right? It's going to be very quick, very, 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 very fast.
Yeah,
and then
that's
over.
not what
What's the point that he's making here?
I saw, and clearly it's not what he saw, and he thinks that there could be an explosive. So I'm just saying to you, when people disagree with you, your opinion's not a fact. That's all.
I understand.
I think that's a good place for us to, if we have another break, and then we can keep answering your questions.
Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, sounds good.
Perfect.
Sounds good. He needs another cigarette, guys. He's getting washed out.
We'll do a quick 3.5 minute ad break. We'll be back for the last segment.
Cool.
All right, thank you.
Whoa, that's incredible. All right, I'm going to go pee. You know, the ads run. If we're reacting to somebody's stuff, we leave the ads going. But I'm going to piss. I don't need to listen to it. There's nothing for me to react to.
All right, you guys, I want to tell you about Ethos because life has a way of changing your priorities when you least expect it. One day you're focused on what's next for you. The next you're thinking about a home, a family, and how to build a future that feels secure. As your world grows, so does your perspective. That shift in mindset is what led me to make life insurance a priority. It's one of those things that's easy to put off, but having it in place gives me peace of mind, knowing that the people that I care about would have financial support if the unexpected ever happened. Getting covered today is simpler, faster, and more affordable than many people realize. That's why I love Ethos, because with Ethos, you can apply online in just minutes. No medical exams, no waiting rooms, just answer a few health questions, and you could be covered the very same day. Ethos has 4.9 out of 5 stars on Trustpilot with over 5,500 reviews. What really stands out to me is that Ethos helps match you with coverage that actually fits your life, your goals, and your budget. With up to $3 million in coverage and plans starting around $30 a month, protecting your family can feel a whole lot more doable. Peace of mind should not be complicated, so take 10 minutes to get covered today with life insurance through Ethos. Get your free quote at ethos.com/Candace. That's ethos.com/Candace. Application times and rates may vary. And I want to remind you guys about Tax Network USA, because I know a lot of people owe back taxes. Maybe you have years of unfiled returns. Maybe you file every year and you still can't get ahead because the balance keeps growing. Or maybe you withdrew money from a 401k or IRA and suddenly got hit with a tax bill that you didn't expect. Whatever caused the problem, one thing is certain: the IRS penalties and interest keep adding up every single month. If you don't have a plan now, you could end up owing even more next tax season. Before the IRS starts sending more letters, garnishing wages, or freezing your bank account, call Tax Network USA. They've been helping taxpayers nationwide for more than 15 years, resolving back taxes, unfiled returns, and serious IRS problems. So whether you owe $10,000 or $10 million, their team has resolved over $1 billion in tax debt. Right now, they're offering a free IRS investigative call to find out exactly what you owe and what options you have to fix it. So call 866-686-1651 or visit tnusa.com/Candace. Again, that's tnusa.com/Candace. I also want to tell you guys about Field of Greens, because I am always looking past the headlines and asking one simple question: what is really in the product that I'm putting into my body? Think about it. When you buy a steak or a bag of vegetables, you see nutrition facts label. When companies take fruits and vegetables and turn them into a formula, you'll often see a supplemental facts label instead. That makes me want to know more. Where do the ingredients come from? How are they processed? And can I trust what's actually inside? That's one reason I love Field of Greens, because their focus is on quality, transparency, and bringing together fruits and vegetables in a convenient daily formula. And it actually tastes good. Wild berry is my favorite, but strawberry lemonade is a popular choice as well. No complicated routine, just 1 scoop mixed with water. If you want to try it, use code Candace at checkout for 20% off your first order by visiting fieldofgreens.com. That's code Candace at fieldofgreens.com.
All right, fantastic. So, Andrew, if you want to go with your last couple thoughts.
Good piss.
Yeah, so I just have two more clips to
Good
play.
piss.
Okay.
Right, and then we can do final thoughts. I'm guessing.
He really needs this to be debate structured for him. He's like a little baby. He's like a little baby that needs that he has to have his sandwich cut in a certain way to eat it. Like he's that's all this is.
I feel like we got where we were trying to go, or at least for the most part. So the 2 other clips, I do want to play the Twigs clip. That one is important to me, the Twigs DNA clip. Yeah. And they're going to pull it up just to have you respond to it.
Well, you don't have to play it, because like if you're saying that when I initially watched it, I thought that Lance Twigs' DNA, like he was directly responding to that, because the testimony was a bit confusing. They started by saying that they were going to like explaining how they got the samples, and they said Lance, Matt, and Amber Robinson, how they got their DNA samples, and then they started speaking about the gun and said, you know, multiple prints were found on them, and then they moved and they said Lance Twigs' DNA was found on the screwdriver. When I went back and rewatched it, I realized, well, they haven't officially said that Lance or Amber are on the gun, so I think I've already conceded that we don't know that. So I think like, but if you want to play the clip,
this is directly you saying it is on the gun. Twigs' DNA
I'm saying
is
that
on
I
the
feel
gun.
like I've already said to you, like I've made that concession. But just to be clear, whenever I make a mistake, I just correct it. So that's why when you were asking me 3 times, I've already said we don't know yet, and I've corrected that mistake. So if the purpose of you showing this is to demonstrate that Candace makes mistakes sometimes when she's taking in a lot of information and she's reading through legal documents and she's trying to remember 9-hour testimony.
It's to demonstrate something else. It is, in fact, the case. We're all going to make mistakes.
Yeah.
I'm going to make mistakes.
And I've already
You're going to make mistakes on the case.
Yeah.
But in this case, you were very adamant that his DNA was on the gun itself.
It sounds like she already walked this back because she made a mistake or something. Whatever. I don't. It just. What's the point? I think he just really wants to bring up the clip because he thinks it looks good for him, but he knows it's not going to look good for him. And now she's already explained it, so there's going to be no impact on whatever they're showing. So
yeah, so I'm just saying that it's not ruled out. We know that there's 5+ prints. I've said this so many times. I had to rewatch the testimony again. It's like 9 hours a day. It got very scientific when they were speaking about this. And I think I wrongly extrapolated that they meant all 3 of them were on the prints when the only person they officially named was Matt Robinson. So we don't know yet if Lance Twigs has his DNA on the prints, DNA on the gun officially just yet.
Okay.
I've already conceded that.
Sure.
So
that's fine. And then the last one is one with Erica Kirk.
Sure.
Damn, he's getting dog walked so fucking hard.
This is like the Erica Kirk. All right,
Well,
Erica, you could just sit down with me, Erica, but we can do it this way.
This goes back to a previous claim that you made.
Yeah, sure.
Bringing it up.
Straight to jail, straight to jail. We're questioning at least Erica.
I don't care who's mad. I really do not care who wants to be upset after this episode. Really, you'll be wasting your breath. You can spend $1 billion on influencers because this is all becoming increasingly inexplicable. You are asking me
to be an idiot, actually, and I cannot do that for you. Someone once commented beneath this show that if the situations were reversed and there were this many verifiable lies,
So straight to jail.
yeah, so that's a show.
But what? That's I don't understand. What was? It sounds like she was just being extra. What's the own there?
Intro and straight to jail is a monopoly term.
Okay.
Like, you know,
So do not pass go.
yeah.
Do not collect $200.
Yes,
That was his big smoking gun. Come on, dude. He needs to go back and smoke cigarettes here.
it's
You're going straight to
obviously
jail.
tongue in cheek. And then we explain that actually I think that she should be brought in for questioning because of inconsistencies. So this is the exact episode when I started to think that she should be sat down and questioned. And I still believe that. I still hold the perspective that Erica should be sat down and she should be properly questioned.
Do you know that she hasn't been?
No, actually, that would be a great thing for the spokesperson of Turning Point USA to say that she's already
but why-
sat through.
why do they-
I mean, my guess would be she hasn't because they returned everything to her.
Yeah.
But
Why do they owe you that though? Why
they don't owe me anything. That's my show you're watching. Just, you know, the clips that you're pulling are from my show. So if I want to say something on my show, I can say that. I didn't
can.
say they owe me something. I don't think that's ever,
You
unless you
can,
have
but if
another
you
clip.
say like you need to
How is he making Candace seem so like intelligent here? This is actually insane. What kind of an argument is? Well, what does she owe you? What?
be sat down for questioning
Yeah.
and you don't even know if they haven't been.
Okay,
That's strange, right?
Do you know if they have been?
No, I have no idea.
So you're just saying, what if they haven't been?
Yeah, if your
you're just kind of
entire
filling the air
if your
with
entire thing
just
is
junk.
if you're no, it's not junk. if the
it is pretty much junk.
query is why is it that Erica Kirk's not being sat down for questioning, but you have absolutely no knowledge whether or not she's been sat down for questioning or not. What that does is it creates an innuendo. It creates an inference. It creates out to the ethos
Whoa,
that
thanks, man.
this should be happening because something's wrong here when you actually don't have the knowledge that anything's wrong at all.
Okay.
I just think that my opinion is that she should be sat down and questioned.
But you're not sure if she hasn't been.
Yeah, and you're not sure if she has been either. So, like I said, I feel like now you're just kind of filling the
Well,
air
to
with
my
nonsense
knowledge,
because
this
Turning
is-
Point
Wow.
says we want
To my
make
knowledge,
sure
Sorry.
that you go in there and
Nobody-
you defend Erica. And I have to say, I don't think you've done an extraordinary job
great,
at that.
but I'm not here to defend Erica. The thing is,
Well, he seems to be there to defend Erica.
though, is
Say
like
that since 4 out of 5 of the clips that you
Yeah.
had on the ready when we asked you guys ahead of time. I mean, I want to just assert how professionally we have dealt with this debate. As you can see, we have not planned any gotcha clips for Andrew. I expressed to him that what we were going to do was just to use people for fact checks, and because I might not remember something, or I
That's true. I mean, there's plenty of gotchas that you could get on this guy.
do remember something and you're saying no, and that is what I think will register to people as very
Well, wait,
fair.
I expressly
We did not take out of
wait, what?
context clips of Andrew
But
to
I
try to
expressly said
please
that
don't
I
cut
was
me
gonna
off.
bring
We
claims,
did not.
right?
No, when you said you were going to bring claims
Your
that you want me to
claims.
speak to, you didn't say I intend on sitting you down with out of contexted clips to which we said to you before in an email. Any clips that you want to share with us, send it
Mm-hmm.
over. Let's assert a debate claim so that we can both be ready to respond to it. This just
that's not really what happened.
well. What didn't
yeah,
happen?
this the way that you're framing the exchange. That's
do you
not
mean?
that's not actually what happened. We were negotiating. It is true we negotiated out the claim itself, right? Which one's going to take which position? I wanted to make sure that I had at least an hour and a half on mine, and you got the time for yours to question me. We did. We got through your hour and a half on mine, roughly an hour and a half now on mine. That's basically
What?
how this went.
But in the beginning, I did not take an hour and a half to just pull out of context clips with Andrew. I actually debated the substance of what's going on in this trial and this hearing, and I do think that
There's-
I think you fell short of that.
There's nothing
And you-
out of hang on.
And
There's
I did
nothing
not
here
say,
except
I'm
holding
just
you to
gonna
account
get
for
you
your
to say
claims.
yes or no. Well, we
Yeah.
were supposed to be debating the case
This
and
is
whether
part
or
of the
not
case.
there was overwhelming evidence.
These are your claims about the case.
No, you then admitted that now you're getting into another sphere and you want to talk about the transcendentals and things that I've
And we
said.
got through-
and like 4
yeah.
out of 5 of your clips are about Erica Kirk. So the general
I don't
perception
think 4 out of 5 even
is
were.
your Turning Point's horse.
You don't think?
I
so you
think
just-
quite a
just-
few
you
of
just-
them were.
you
Was there
just-
3
just made it
Erica's
up?
or 4?
I mean, at this point, it does. I mean, I believe it. I think a lot of people believe it. I mean, he worked for them. He probably still works for them. Who knows? He's a liar, so you can't really. And he's dishonest, and he knows he is. So you can't really take anything he says at face value. He's asking a lot of questions. He's very positive with Erica. I mean, like, yeah, this is the problem. Even if it's not true, I mean, it sounds true enough. And Candace, she comes off as more credible than him. So, yeah.
So you're just making stuff
Can
up?
we get a count of how many were about Erica? I feel like
I think it was
Yeah.
3.
3. Okay,
Yeah,
3. I
3.
said 4.
But those are extraordinary
sorry.
claims, which is why you're asked
Okay,
about them,
well,
right?
okay, but the point being is now you're veering into trying to get me to defend my opinions, and then you completely shirk responsibility
They're
when I point
claims.
out yours. No, they're not claims. When
No,
you
they're
tweet
claims.
Erica is too retarded, you go, that's just whatever, and then you move on.
That's a claim and I'm responsible for the claim.
Well, earlier when I brought it up, you said that it was tongue in cheek.
Yes, sure. That's me.
That's funny. Wow, he instantly walked that one back. That's a claim. Well, I thought, but you said you were joking. Wow. Okay. Well, he just talks himself into a corner over and over again. He probably likes being there. You know, definitely a cut corner kind of guy.
Me responding to your criticism of the claim. That's all I'm doing here.
I was interested, and
I'm happy to get into also the Patsy stuff now if you would like to.
well,
Your
that
team
was
has one more
supposed to
clip they
be
want
the
to play
whole
from
One more,
7 days
okay,
ago.
sorry.
They got one
They
more
had
clip.
to.
and
We
then
were
we'll
getting
go
into
to
the Patsy stuff, and you stopped it, and I was explaining to you. Oh, they have one more clip. Okay, let's go.
They want to hit the minimum of 4 clips you were saying with Erica. So
100%.
This is absurd.
That was a funny joke.
okay. And this is the one you're saying from 7 days ago.
Okay. It's awfully quiet.
Okay. While they're looking for that, do you want to continue?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
can I
yeah.
ask a question? I know it's been, or like, can I ask a question? Or are we
Not
just in
really. I'm just gonna.
Okay.
We're going to hold to the actual contract itself.
the contract does not say that you are allowed to just question me without me being able
Did he just say no?
to respond. Like, can I ask a question? Or are we
Not
just
really. I'm just gonna.
Okay.
We're going to hold to the actual contract itself.
Dude, I'm sorry. To me, that's the biggest like smoking gun of this entire thing. Or that's like the most humiliating part of this. Hey, can I ask a question? No, we're going to stick to the contract. I mean, like, okay, I get it, but also you sound like a fucking pussy. You sound like such a pussy, dude. I don't know. That's some coward shit. Also, like, the fact that they were able to even get that into the contract is just pathetic. Why can't she ask questions back? If anything, I wonder if she asked that question to get that answer from him, because it just makes this whole conversation seem so strange that she's on trial right now, and that Andrew's too much of a coward to answer a question back.
The contract does not say that you are allowed to just question me without me being able to respond to you.
I've never said you can't
or have
respond.
a conversation.
You've been able to respond to every question I've asked you. And by the way, the other thing is like
Let's have it your way. I want it to look like
still happy
we've
to have
done
the
everything
debate.
Andrew wanted to, so that people can fairly assess the situation. So you have it your way. I
Totally
will not
fine.
ask a question.
Totally fair with me.
Damn. Dude, I don't think he realized that she just fucking smoked him so hard there. Dude, he looks so dumb. He really looks so fucking stupid.
So are you good with her asking a question or
He
no?
said no.
Waiting for the clip.
Okay. So you want to wait for the
Wow.
clip first. Okay. You guys have it in the back?
Dude, that's crazy.
Okay, beautiful.
Wow. Wow.
Your
Jeopardy
team
thing.
told me they had it. So
That's what I heard. Okay, there we
come
go.
on, guys.
Did this crime. Okay? Because Lance
I can't
Twiggs
hear this. My
has his
thing went off. Just tell me
DNA
what
on
it
the
said earlier.
towel.
It's fine.
Lance Twiggs has his DNA on the rifle.
Lance Twiggs
and to be
has his
clear,
DNA on the
Lance
rifle.
Twiggs'
This was 4
DNA
times,
was
but I don't
not
know why they
as
feel like they need
degraded as Tyler Robinson's DNA was on Tyler's rifle. It's Tyler's rifle.
Oh, you
but
also
Lance's
said, yeah, it's
DNA
not as degraded on the rifle.
Yeah, because I thought he was
But didn't she already walk this back and say that she made a mistake because she got confused?
one of the things. But I've already that's what I mean when I say that. Like, it just seems like you're not actually here trying to engage, because even before you got to this and I knew that you had some secret clip planned, I said to you when I rewatched the testimony, I realized that they didn't explicitly say Lance Twiggs. They said 5 other profiles were on it, and that his was the most degraded. So I hope your team feels fulfilled in playing that. Is there any more? I'm happy to play every clip that he has on the ready. Anybody?
You said you had some new evidence at the beginning of the
Oh yeah,
debate
we should
you had
show
some-
that
Why did they bother showing that clip? I don't understand.
text message that you read
did you
just
wanna
because
share
I
that?
think that's important for the public. You shared it out of context.
I'll do it on my show. I'll share the text
So you're going to
message.
read it on my show.
Wait, what? Why wouldn't he share this text message?
You said you had some new evidence at the beginning of the
Oh yeah,
debate
we should
you had
show that
something
text
new-
message that you read
Did you
just
wanna
because
share
I
that?
think that's important for the public. You shared it out of context.
I'll do it on my show.
Why? If you have new evidence, why wouldn't you share it right then? Also, aren't they streaming it on his show? I'm pretty sure they're streaming it on Andrew's thing, on his channel, on Candace's channel, and on the PBD, whatever the fuck channel. So why wouldn't you share it now? You're on your show.
I'll share the text
So you're going to
message.
read it on my show but not show it.
Correct.
Why? Does he? What? Dude, he looks like such a clown right now. Holy fuck.
So
Okay.
I'll show it on my show. But
Why?
that's what I'll do. I'll show it on my
Can
show.
I ask why?
Well, because I want to drip out the evidence. You know,
He looks like a fucking moron here.
it's got to drip out that evidence, keep people coming back for the show, right?
I don't know if Snark's
I mean, I'm sure he's kidding. He's just not funny. Nobody thinks he's funny at all. But like, is part of this true? Like, you're just infantilizing your own evidence at this point.
Serves you so well.
I'm just saying, like, yeah,
It's true.
I'll release it there.
Why?
Yeah, that's
If this is a smoking gun that could destroy Candace, why wouldn't you release it now?
my intention. But yeah, I'm fine with closings if you want to do closings.
Well, I also would just, if I may ask a question, is that
This is pathetic. What the fuck?
permitted?
Go ahead.
Just so I also have clarity, since your basis has been evidentiary, you keep saying that you have evidence or like you are following evidence. Which one of the charges against, or all of them, do you think Tyler Robinson is guilty of?
Damn. I think this is the clip that like really fucks him.
The specific charge?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I think is that Tyler Robinson shot Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, but of the 7 charges that he's being charged.
Yeah. Can we list them real quick? I'll tell you exactly which ones. We'll pull them up.
Well, do you know any of the charges he's up for right now?
Yeah, of course. But I want to make sure that we have them listed.
Yeah, but like can
He doesn't know them.
you name one? Because my general perspective is that you don't actually care about this case. You're not
Is
following
that
the
it?
case.
That's the
Yeah.
question. You
Yeah.
just
I mean, yeah, that makes sense. He doesn't seem to care at all. He didn't prepare at all. It's not part like he's just floundering around the whole time. And frankly, I do believe he's there for Erica Kirk. I think that he likes blondes. He usually harasses young ones on that podcast where he does manosphere weird shit. But I think Erica Kirk, the autistic masked lesbian, gave him like a hand job, a disinterested hand job. And I think that he worked for them as some kind of debate coach. He might still work for them. He's obviously, in my opinion, in there to desperately ask legal questions. That's what it kind of seems like. It seems like they're there to ask legal questions, try to pin them down with like legal bullshit. But it doesn't seem like he even knows anything about it. And I think that he spends most of his time debating the same shit over and over again. Why it's okay, like you don't need consent in marriages, why women should be thankful that men don't rape them, why feminism be bad, why, I don't know, I guess slavery was okay, according to the Bible sometimes, depending on the circumstance. So, but this is like a new one. He didn't prepare for this. He just kind of came in and was like, that's what he was like. Okay. So, yeah, I agree.
it's not following it enough.
It seems pretty like if you're going to engage and you're going to say the evidence is overwhelming that Tyler Robinson is guilty, I just think that you should.
By the way, he said it was 85%. He was 85% sure. I'm pretty sure at the beginning of this. And he defined overwhelming as he believes it a lot.
Like,
All right.
Can you tell me one?
Then let's do the
charge
counter.
that he's.
You can really, yeah, no, this is a great gotcha.
No. You just got to ask me, play
Yeah.
clips out of context,
Yeah.
put me in the hot seat. So please just answer the
This
question.
is fair.
Can
Name
you
all 7 since you've been following the case.
Okay, sure.
Go
You
ahead.
name one.
Yeah, you named all 7.
I'm happy to do that, but can you name one?
I think he's been charged with murder.
That's actually incorrect.
Okay, great. Now name all
Damn.
7.
He doesn't even. This is like.
Name all 7.
And I
Can you
I
name
think
all 7?
I can.
Then do it.
Sure. You don't have to.
Do
put
it. No, do it. I'll count them. Go ahead.
He's so aggressive and he's about to get fucked so hard.
You don't
Name
have to
'em.
put your fingers up. I
Okay,
can do
hang on.
that.
Name them.
Yeah, sure.
Name them.
The first charge is aggravated murder because that's what carries
Okay.
a death
So
sentence in the
murder.
state of Utah. No,
Next.
that's not. That is literally not murder.
Okay.
And so
Next.
just for people, I don't have to do it in a time limit. There's nothing going on. And just to explain to people the difference of why that really matters and shows that he doesn't actually care about this at all is because aggravated murder, it's narrowly defined
Just
and because
avoiding
it
the
carries
question.
a death sentence. I'm going to answer the question.
Okay,
You're
I'm
just going to
waiting.
recognize
He's so fucking terrified right now.
that your strategy of thinking that people are intimidated when you try to put a time constraint doesn't work, and you'll be better the next time you debate
I got
someone.
it. I got it. Give me the other ones.
The more you cut me off, the longer I'll take. Do you want to just wait for me to finish of why that's a big difference so that
No,
people
I just
don't walk
want you
away?
to list the charges.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. You just don't get to pretend that there's a time constraint for me to do that.
Well, how long does it take you to list 7 charges?
I'm
Jesus Christ.
speaking. You just got to.
It sounds like you're just delaying it because you don't know them.
I know all 7 of them,
Then
and I'm
tell
going to
me
say
them.
again.
Dude, he's so terrified.
It's like you're going to get embarrassed. You don't have to rush this. I'm also showing an example
He doesn't want her to explain the context of that charge because he's fucking terrified.
of a very flawed debate strategy. I
Okay,
actually
well,
am
I
under
got
no
one.
time constraint.
I got one.
Great. The second charge is the felony discharge of a weapon. The next 2 charges are for obstruction of justice.
Okay.
The next 2 charges are for witness tampering. And the
What's
final,
the specific charges, though?
that is them. Obstruction of justice,
Both of
obstruction
those-
of
He
ju-
couldn't name a single one, so I don't know why he's asking her this question.
justice, witness tampering, witness tampering.
Okay, wait, and there's no other specifics to them.
Well, I can tell you why he's being
No,
charged
no,
with
no,
it.
just the charges and then 7.
Yeah, see, the bad thing is when you try to be an a-hole and it doesn't work.
What's the 7th?
The last charge is violence in front of a minor.
Damn. Dude, he just got dog walked. I know there's still more. They're about to prove it.
Okay, got it. So then he's being charged with murder. You just say aggravated murder. That's the distinction. You just want to.
It's a massive. It's
Got
like
it.
you cannot
Massive.
say murder versus aggravated
Massive
murder.
distinction.
This gets to the entire crux of why him being up for the death sentence. And I actually find the defense is filing about why this is not aggravated to be very compelling of why it's not aggravated murder. Actually, if the state was going to even try to pull this off, they should have charged him with just murder. And then I do also, again, want to stress to audiences that that debate strategy of thinking that you have to speak faster or somebody puts your hand up and they try to pretend like it's some sport. I think he thinks it's a blood sport. It's not. It's about being right and being principled when you're engaging. And you can make mistakes. I make mistakes all the time, but at least be genuine in pretending that you care about this case enough to know one of the 7 charges that are up against Tyler Robinson when you say the evidence is overwhelming that he's guilty. If you would like to move to final statements, I'm fine. I want to make sure Andrew has had the time that he has requested.
I think your team would like to pull up the 7 charges that he just asked you about. If you guys want to pull that up.
Damn, her team wants to pull it up. They're rubbing the salt in that fucking wound, dude. They're fucking Andrew's about to get kirked. I don't know what else to tell you, dude.
Just to confirm the 7 you went through. Can you guys zoom in a little bit? For
aggravated murder, felony discharge of a firearm, obstruction of justice, which is counts 3 and 4, 5 and 6, tampering with a witness, and count 7,
violent
I said offense in the presence of a
in front
minor.
of a child.
Yeah.
That's what
So
I said.
5, 6, tampering witness, 3rd degree felony. Now I did notice something. I just was
Did she get them all, or did she get 5 of the 7?
curious about. If I'm just wondering, when you pulled out your phone just before you asked that question, did somebody by chance text you that question?
You can check my
Dude, he's so scared. He's looking for something. He's looking for something. He's looking for something to win on. He's not going to find it. This is so pathetic, dude. Holy shit.
phone.
I'm just curious.
No, you can absolutely not. I have not had one communication with a single person, not even
I feel like why would she need to do that if just all she talks about all day? It wouldn't make sense to me that she would like have a general understanding.
my producers who are in there this whole time we were here. You want to check my phone? I'm happy to do it because you're just going to get double embarrassed. Where's my phone?
You want us to be triple embarrassed at this point.
See it?
I'm just
can.
curious. Yeah.
You can literally do that. Here you go. PBD, you're the moderator. Take it.
Let's see it.
if anyone was texted at all during this debate
All right.
about the violent charges or anything.
I'm looking through this. You give me permission.
You
so I'm
have
looking
full
up, I'm not
permission
gonna
to go
give
through my
names.
phone. I don't need to
So
cheat.
the last one has nothing to do with it. It's just a compliment.
I haven't even read my text messages.
That's
so
a compliment.
He's reading them.
You're okay. You're giving me permission.
Yes.
I'm just going to read 3 of them,
Yes.
see 1132, because after that, I don't need to read it.
Any other text? Could have been Telegram. Could have been something.
All
like
I
that.
have is Signal. You can check that too.
Dude, oh my God.
I only have Signal. Telegram I used in Russia, and that was a download for
I'll
Russia.
take your word for it.
Yeah,
Then-
I don't need to I
Okay.
deeply care about this case. I don't need to pretend
I get
to
it.
know
If you
stuff that
deeply
I
care
don't
about
know.
the case,
Yeah.
I just, I have my other question is about
Mm-hmm.
the steakhouse receipt.
All right. Good job, Andrew. You got fucking bodied.
You just said that you were done asking all your
Nothing, just so
questions.
you know,
Yeah,
nothing there.
there. I don't
Yeah. Do you
need
have
to
the
that.
steakhouse receipt? Is my question.
I have said several times that I have never said I have the receipt for the steakhouse. I have said the person who's working on that story is going to be forthcoming with the receipt, and that was what I was responding to. And he then dropped the receipt. He redacted elements of it, and I said, "Stay tuned. He's the one working on that story."
Okay. So you,
I never-
you haven't actually confirmed that Robinson was at that steakhouse.
All I did, as I said earlier in this conversation, was I spoke to the owner when I broke that story. I think it was back in January. I spoke to the owner, understood what had happened, and that there was a receipt. That's it. That's the extent of what I shared is what happened.
Wow.
Okay. So to be
Incredible.
clear, there's no receipt. You
No,
don't-
I just said the opposite. I said there is
well,
a
you
receipt.
don't have a copy of the receipt.
The receipt was published online.
Yeah. Right. With blurred
The
out.
person working on this story
Yeah.
that blurred that out is what I was referring to when I said stay tuned and keep following his stuff.
What's interesting is like, it's very clear to me that he has no idea anything that's going on in this case. And so I don't know what receipt they're talking about. It seems like some pretty obscure information. Like, fine, whatever. I'm not like super involved in the story. I think that most people, whatever. But the fact that he would like not understand any fundamental aspect of this case, but then ask about like a very obscure receipt about a steakhouse communicates to me that he has handlers that like wanted him to do this when he didn't actually care to do this in the first place, which is just stronger evidence that like he is there on behalf of Eric Kirk. He is was or is employed with them in some capacity as their debate coach. He met with her, gave her a hug. I don't know. It seems pretty compelling that and frankly, he's asking questions in a way that sound like he's trying to extract legal evidence. So yeah, man, I kind of feel like I don't know. He's getting paid by somebody. That's my opinion, but
Because he went to go do what I hadn't done, which was he interviewed the actor.
oh, it's a receipt for a steakhouse that would prove his alibi. Okay, Tyler Robinson's alibi. Okay, fair enough. But I feel like this is obscure. Like I feel like this is not like a commonly understood aspect of this situation. Like this is something that's like a little more niche when you're in the conspiracy theory aspect, and he doesn't know shit about dick.
actual server.
So there's no evidence that Tyler was at that steakhouse.
I would say the receipt with his debit card number, it would be some hard evidence if that
I agree with that,
Yeah,
but-
so that's it. But you're questioning me.
But is there, as of right now,
he paid, if you're asking me, did he pay with a credit or debit card? The answer is yes.
No. Is there proof that that was actually his debit card that he paid with?
I think you should follow the person that is behind that story.
Well, the reason I'm asking you is because you always include it in your timeline that he traveled to the steakhouse.
Yeah, we've been building a timeline with things that we feel are
But is there any actual
Utah 1102
evidence?
approved. I think speaking to the owner, knowing that there's a receipt, seeing the receipt is good enough to put on our timeline.
But the receipt itself, the question I always had about it is, couldn't you just call the merchant? Like if I've ever had a merchant account, I just call the merchant account processor and say, what's the name on this?
Yeah, I would stay tuned. I feel that having spoken to the owner, that the evidence is compelling enough to put onto my personal timeline of what took place on that day. That's where it's going to stay. And if it gets debunked, I'm happy to take it off. If that's what you mean, that's how an investigation works. Like I said, I did more than enough. It would definitely pass the test by the Utah 1102 rule, for sure, for certain.
To be submitted as hearsay.
Well, yeah, beyond that, because they didn't even have receipts. They were like, Bob told me this.
But the question is, the receipt itself, it has not been verified to have been Tyler
Yeah, I just want to
Robinson's,
say you're
right?
holding me to a higher standard than you are.
I'm not even holding it.
in
I'm
the
just
prosecution.
asking specifically.
Yeah, I've been very forthcoming. I've told exactly what happened. I spoke to the owner. I got the tip, and
So should that be
chased it
added in
down.
an official timeline that
It's
you
in
give?
my timeline. It's my show, and we can add and subtract what we want, and we do. If
You
we
can
get
do what
something
you
wrong,
want, sure. But
well,
I'm
I just wanted to
asking,
make sure.
should you include a thing that you know?
It's very obvious what's happening at this point is that Andrew like feels incredibly weak on everything in here, so he's trying to like super pin her down on like his last opportunity question because he feels really fucking weak on it and he doesn't know what else to say or do.
Hasn't actually been verified to be Tyler Robinson.
Yes, you should. If we're trying to build a timeline, you should. Yeah,
You don't think that falls
and then
under?
you should remove it if someone somehow debunks it. But I think that there is very strong evidence that is where he was, and that
What's
is,
the strong evidence? Just the two people who said that they saw him?
You know, I'm actually all good with I feel like I've sufficiently answered your question about how I got
All
the
right, fair
information,
enough.
what happened next.
Dude, look at that. He's walking about. He's such a coward too. Damn.
Would the next stage of this investigation being somebody accessing knowing what his debit card was and confirming it? Yes, and I do believe that will happen. If it does not happen and it gets debunked, I'll remove it from my personal timeline that I share on my show.
That officer, the first officer that was up on the roof. Do you remember his name?
Officer Bagley.
Yeah, what was his first name?
Christopher.
Christopher.
What does this matter?
When Chris, do you remember his name?
Officer Bagley.
Yeah, what was his first name?
What's he got in that ear over there? You think he's got a mic in there?
Christopher.
Christopher. When Christopher got up on the roof, you talk a lot about how his camera died.
Well, he talked a lot about that during the
About
preliminary
his camera
hearing.
died.
Yeah.
Do you think that he planted that screwdriver up there?
No.
No. Who do you think planted it?
If we're just going on am I allowed to have an opinion?
Of course.
At this stage, I would say that I don't buy his assertion on the stand that he didn't check to see if anybody went onto the rooftop before he got up there. I do think that it's possible. It's at least plausible that the screwdriver was planted. I don't believe him. What I can say strongly is that his cam died at just the right time. His body cam died at just the right time. I think that, as you were just grilling me about whether or not I had got the merchant receipt for a debit card, that kind of makes it difficult that we just have to sort of trust that a screwdriver was found and we don't have any should be evidence of a police body cam. But like I said, you accept that stuff and then are like, did you call the merchant and get it's just.
I don't know. It does seem kind of interesting that he didn't have access to his body cam, just conveniently went out. I don't know. I don't know, dude.
Seems like you.
Well, I'm not adding.
Hold,
I'm
like
not
I said,
adding
you
this
hold the
to
prosecution to
Well,
a state to a higher standard
I'm
than
not
you do to
adding
people.
unconfirmed evidence to an official timeline that I'm putting out either.
What do you mean an official timeline? This is my
this is
timeline. I made it at home.
So then it would be official to your show?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Oh, dude, I see. He's trying to pin her down for her to say it's an official timeline because they're trying to just legally. It sounds like they're trying to get her to be like, "Oh, this is definitive. This is a fact." They're trying to. I think that's why he's asking like that.
So then your official timeline, Candace Owens' official timeline, includes a steakhouse stop that has not actually been confirmed at all.
Well, yeah, it hasn't even been discussed by the prosecution, so it's not like you're debunking that it happened.
Well, there's no evidence for it. There's no good evidence for it at all. There's no camera there. And the steakhouse receipt itself has never been confirmed to be Tyler Robinson's.
I'm assuming this is just like a talking point they gave you and you got to like keep pushing this or like.
I've been following it very closely on X.
The receipt, you weren't
Only very closely on X. Right after you say the on X thing, you lose like all credibility, right?
even following the charges of Tyler Robinson, but you really wanted to know. I've been following it very closely on X.
Wait,
I'm calling owners of steakhouses and having a conversation. You're following Congo on X.
I literally followed the entire trial or the preliminary live. I was live with an attorney. We covered all of it. You think because I have a momentary or lapse where I'm like, oh, it's murder? No, it's aggravated murder. Come on.
You didn't know any of the charges.
Splitting
you
hairs.
Didn't, no, that's not splitting. It means
it's not really splitting hairs if you didn't know any of the charges.
You didn't follow the preliminary hearing at all.
No, it doesn't mean
you
that
don't
at
know
all.
any of the
That's
charges out of
ridiculous.
against him when this is like getting literally to the crux, aggravated murder versus murder.
It's funny because what he could say to it is he could say, well, you know what? I don't necessarily think that the preliminary hearing matters as much. I don't even know what you would say to that. I feel like you would kind of want to follow it very closely if you really cared about it. I think he's pretending that he cares about this.
Ridiculous.
Death sentence.
And not only that, let's point this out. One of the major things here is that this is your official timeline.
It's mine.
Yes.
He keeps saying official. He's trying to hammer in this word. I guarantee it. It sounds like he's trying to hammer this word official into this so that he for a court evidence. This is your official timeline. Like the emphasis is on the official. Because if they can make it seem like she thinks that this is official, and now it goes from her thinking this to her asserting that this is absolutely a fact instead of raising questions, which gives more of a legal basis. That's what it sounds like.
Who else could it be? Who else? It would be Candace
What's your
Owens'
issue?
timeline.
I just don't know what his issues with my timeline.
What's your issue with that?
Well, so the issue is that
He's trying to push her down onto something for legal. It's for Erica Kirk, probably.
the entirety of the evidence revolves around two people who claim that he was there and supposedly a receipt. There's supposedly a receipt where Tyler Robinson paid for his steak and his soft drink. No alcohol, right? No alcohol, right? You know nothing about the case.
Okay. What does this have to do with anything?
But
Oh, he's just trying to prove that he knows so much about it.
anyway, this particular receipt, they could have called the merchant account, confirmed it, this type of thing. To date, this receipt has only the blurred information on it that would actually give you the information to confirm whose receipt it is. We have to date, nobody has confirmed that this was actually Tyler Robinson's receipt. And yet inside of Candace Owens' timeline, which she states over and over again, when she says, this is the longest 13 hours, this is 13 and a half hours, the requirement for about what? Roughly.
I think somebody's feeding information into his ear. I'm going to go full conspiracy brain because he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. He's so unconfident right now. He's just saying things that people tell him to say.
5.5 or 6 hours of that is that he went to the steakhouse. And that's not been confirmed at all. Not even a little bit.
I feel like saying that I spoke to the owner of the steakhouse is me, like, not just being on X looking at opinions, but actually doing the legwork.
Damn.
And that's why like I said, if you think this builds up a rapport with your audience and makes you seem like a serious person, we don't have to keep belaboring the point here. I feel like I've demonstrated that I did as much as I could to confirm this when it came in. I spoke to the owner of the restaurant, obviously took down everything he said, noted that there was in fact a receipt that he pulled. That receipt that was published is real. A debit card and a credit card was used. If for some reason somebody misidentified something down the line, or we find out it's a different Tyler Robinson, I'm happy to remove it from my timeline. But for right now, I think that there's enough under the Utah 1102 rule for me to keep it there.
TPUSA isn't sending their best. Well, this is their best. This is TPUSA's best. That's all it is. I mean, right now, like a lot of these MAGA grifters are getting completely like fucking absolutely ash trashed. Like you saw, like Nick Shirley has a picture next to some guy where that's like an Epstein Island guy. He was on Epstein's Island, probably raped kids or whatever. Whatever he did. If you're in Epstein's Island, you're probably, well, unless you're there for the snorkeling, of course. But so like Nick Shirley is being posted with that guy. I forget what he is. He's some bald fucking piece of shit. Maybe it's me. Like all these guys are being confirmed or being like shown that they're like basically ops, like they're feds. You know what I mean, dude? They're fucking. It's all something, dude. It's all something. I don't know.
I don't really think we need to keep going into circles about this receipt. It's my timeline.
I don't know why the 1102 rule would apply here for your
because
timeline.
you were constantly citing.
She's trying to say that like he's holding her to the higher standard than the courts hold. Than he holds the courts to. That's the point that she's making.
Things that are said in that courtroom that have less
The receipt is real.
evidentiary support than me contacting and speaking with the owner of the restaurant. It's not like I dreamed it, as to use your expression. So it's in my timeline, and I'm going to keep it there if that's
Sure,
cool.
you can keep whatever
Great.
you want there. I'm
Okay.
just saying that there's no evidence he was ever there.
Okay, thank you. I think
No
we
hard
can make
evidence
the point.
anyway. Yeah, I'm fine with close.
There's no evidence he's there. Well, no hard evidence. Okay. Well, good job trashing that point too, bud.
Okay, so the last thing we're going to do before we go into ad break, right after this will be final thoughts. I'll be asking both of you
Oh, my Lord.
if anything on your opinion, thoughts changed on the case, and then we'll finish it up from there. So with that being said, a 3.5 minute break, and then we'll come back for final thoughts.
All right.
All right, you guys, if someone followed you
Smoke that cigarette, Wilson.
everywhere that you went, recorded what you searched, and studied your habits, you'd call the police. When your smartphone does it, we call it convenience. At Zero Ghost, they believe that you shouldn't have to trade your privacy for convenience. That's why they created the Ghost Phone, a smartphone built to give you more control over your personal information without giving up the things that you actually need a smartphone to do. The Ghost Phone has been professionally hardened to minimize unnecessary tracking and make your phone substantially more difficult to hack or compromise. And considering what some of you have been searching lately, such as
You know the deal. I watched the ads.
what does it mean to be yanking and banking? Maybe your smartphone doesn't need to know quite so much about you. Best part is that you don't have to become a cybersecurity expert to use it. You can keep your phone number, you can keep your carrier, you can use your normal apps, call, text, take pictures, you get a normal smartphone experience, but with the privacy and security at the center of it all. The difference is the phone is built around your privacy rather than building a business around your data. So yank and bank your way over to zeroghost.com/Candace and use code Candace at checkout for $50 off your Ghost phone. That's zeroghost.com/Candace. Installment plans are available at checkout. I also want to remind you guys about American financing because it is no secret that everything is starting to feel a lot more expensive. If your daily essentials are ending up on a credit card, those double-digit interest rates are quietly draining your bank account. If that debt is starting to feel heavy, you should know that you're not alone. If you're a homeowner, you've likely looked at your mortgage rate and thought, I shouldn't touch that. But American Financing offers a smart equity loan so that you don't have to. It allows you to wipe out high interest debt and lower your monthly overhead while keeping your primary mortgage intact. It's a surgical strike against debt. Unlike a fluctuating HELOC, the smart equity loan is a fixed rate loan, giving you a predictable monthly payment. At American Financing, there are never any upfront fees to find out what you qualify for. So talk to a salary-based consultant today. These experts who are paid to help you save, not to sell you more than you need, can help you if you call 800-795-1210. Again, that's 800-795-1210 or visit americanfinancing.net/Owens. Again, that's americanfinancing.net/Owens. I have to tell you guys about Nimi Skincare. You know I love them. They make the best tallow skincare products I've ever used.
Damn, she just fucking rattles these off, dude. Holy fuck. How much does she make all these? Jesus Christ.
Their tallow comes from grass-fed, grass-finished cattle raised on a Montana farm. And in a world where so many companies hide where their ingredients are coming from, that really matters. Everyone seems to be talking about tallow these days, but not all tallow is created equally. Nimi has focused on sourcing exceptional ingredients and creating products that people genuinely love to use. That's why I've been using Nimi's Sunshine Tallow Cream and their Buzzin' Tallow Balm. The Sunshine Tallow Cream has become one of Nimi's most popular products. It's rich, nourishing, and made with tallow, aloe vera, avocado oil, and shea butter to deeply moisturize the skin while it's feeling lightweight and comfortable. It leaves your skin looking soft, hydrated, and healthy without that greasy feeling.
Ew.
When my skin needs a little extra support, I reach for the Buzzin' Tallow Balm. It's a richer formula that helps lock in moisture and leave skin feeling deeply nourished and cared for. What I appreciate most is that these products are rooted in simplicity, high-quality ingredients, American sourcing, American manufacturing, and skincare that simply works. So if you've been curious about tallow skincare, now is the perfect time to try it. Visit NimiSkincare.com to save an additional 10% off your order with promo code Candace10 at checkout. Again, that's NimiSkincare.com, promo code Candace10 at checkout.
All right. We are
All right.
finally at the end. For those of you that are watching
Thank you, August. I'm going to take a look at that in a sec.
it, maybe a good commentary for you would be the following on if you're a Andrew fan and you are still saying, you know what, Andrew's arguments were solid, great. Candace, great. But did anything change your mind? Did you watch and say, you know what, I had this position over here. This would be an interesting commentary to hear. And of course, for all the people that are watching, I was just whispering to them here before we wrap it up. I think whether you're a fan of Andrew or not, whether you're a fan of Candace or not, nobody can dispute the fact that these guys agreed to sit down and talk live. Others were thinking this was pre-recorded. This is not pre-recorded, just so everybody knows.
Well, but that's not really true, right? I mean, they did agree to talk, but apparently Candace can't ask questions. So seems kind of deeply inauthentic from that in that regards, but okay.
This is purely live. This is a little bit scarier than pre-recorded because pre-recorded you can do edits. So whether you agree with them or not, let's make sure we respect both of them.
I don't think so, but okay.
For having to sit down and before the final thoughts, I want to make sure you guys hear that
Not a big fan of respecting the rape guy.
from me as well, for inviting me here as well.
Of course.
I do know one day, I think it was last week, you sent a message on one of our accounts. You said, can I talk to Patrick? We got on the call. You said, Patrick, can you moderate this? And then I said, great, let's do this. And so before we wrap up, final thoughts, I'll come to you first.
Yeah, she had nothing. Just nothing. For all of her claims of Patsy, nothing. She didn't have a single claim. She didn't have a single solid piece of evidence. She had no positive evidence Israel's involved in anything. No
She's using this no positive evidence. You like that?
positive evidence that France is involved in anything. No positive evidence TPUSA is involved in anything. No positive evidence that Erica Kirk is involved in anything.
It's really funny because like she acknowledged his shitty debate strategy, and instead of acknowledging her strategy of like, hey, you just like kind of ask these questions and but you really don't have any answers and it really feels inconclusive. He's just like, well, actually, you know, it's just kind of, I don't know, maybe he did that before in the first part and I forgot it, but this is fucking dumb as hell.
When I ask her about her claims about Erica Kirk, yeah, it was just funning. It's just funning, you know? Or, yeah, I do think that she needs to sit down and ask some questions, but, or answer some questions, but you know what? I don't even know if she has.
He prepared this? This is ridiculous.
Like, maybe she has. I have no idea. Yes, I'm going to have an official timeline with unconfirmed evidence. That's just...
It's not an official timeline, though. See, what I'm saying, he was trying to pin her down on the official timeline thing. It's not an official timeline. It's like her timeline. That's what she said. Again, it's very obvious that this is like an attempt, like some kind of like weak attempt for like a lawsuit.
Fine. Hey, it's hearsay. If that's good enough for the state, it's good enough for me. But my biggest problem with the state is that they're admitting all this hearsay. It's like she's a contradiction machine. On top of all of this, the thing that I wanted to get out of this more than anything else was to just demonstrate one thing. Yes, it's true. I'm not perfect on the case. I'm not going to ever pretend that I am, and never did. But what has been made very clear to me is that there's nobody with an alternative theory that has any evidence for it at all. None. Zero. And the continuous kind of expression, we're running an investigation. What kind of investigation builds a timeline out on a receipt that they don't even confirm? What kind of investigation tries to make these bold claims that Israel's involved and France is involved and all these different players are involved and never shows any evidence? We're just asking questions. It's again, like I said, my open.
So this is another big problem. I guess he doesn't know what the word evidence and proof means. You would say that you haven't shown any proof. They've shown evidence. She has tremendous amounts of evidence. It doesn't mean that evidence is proof. It doesn't prove anything. It's just evidence. Right? Like if I have a little stain on the front of my pants, right where my penis is, you might say that's evidence that I pissed myself. But it might just be that I was eating, a turkey wake-up wrap from Dunkin' Donuts, and it stained my pants, and it wasn't actually pee. But it could be, right? This is evidence versus proof. These are two different things.
It's always intuition, my feelings.
But he doesn't understand that. He's dumb as shit. Say that you don't have any proof, not that you don't have any evidence.
How I feel about things, how I think about things. Andrew, how many times do you hear this today? Andrew, you can't tell me how I'm supposed to think. Yeah, nobody's trying to tell you how to think. But you should rationally come to your conclusions based on evidence and fact.
Oh, he's so boring.
And the truth is that 90% of what you're saying is simply intuition based. It came to me in a dream. It's intuition. Almost none of it has any evidence at all. Just I'm skeptical because these people over here said things, and that makes me skeptical. It's like, but no evidence. Note this to the audience, to everybody watching. You might hate my guts. That's fair enough. I get that. I'm not the most likable man. I understand that too.
What?
But there was nothing. I mean, no evidence at all that Tyler Robinson was a patsy that was ever put forward by Candace this entire debate. Now, maybe
this is a real question. I'm gonna keep it an absolute side with you. Why does he care so much? Like, what is the reason that he cares so much about whether or not, like, what Candace is saying? Like, unless he, like, really cared about... Like, he didn't like Charlie Kirk. He doesn't like Erica Kirk. Or, like, he gets paid by her, or at least did. Maybe that's it? Like, does he feel like this is destroying the conservative movement or something? Like, what does he fucking care? What the fuck does he even care? Why does he care enough to like push her on this? Like, I can't believe you're doing this. I gotta push you on. Like, why does he care enough for that? Doesn't make any sense.
Maybe you could say that we stalemated when it came to whether or not Robinson did it. She says, I found the evidence convincing. Unconvincing. Andrew says he found the evidence convincing. Okay, fair enough. Maybe you can't do too much about that. But
this whole outro is just like, hey guys, my optics are bad. Please don't think I'm that bad.
There was nothing. She had nothing for Robinson being a...
It would have been better if he came out and said, like, listen, honestly, I think that Candace is wrong and she hasn't really confirmed anything. But honestly, what he would have been better doing for Erica Kirk's sake, because he's probably doing this for her, is saying, listen, I am still unconvinced by her evidence, but obviously, like she pointed out, I didn't prepare enough for this, and I'm not that invested into this situation in the way that I came in for. And so, like, I just look really bad. Me being wrong doesn't mean that she's right. Me looking wrong or me being unprepared and looking stupid doesn't mean that she's right. That would have been the best optics play here for Erica Kirk. That would have been the best thing, but he can't concede anything. So
Patsy, nothing for any of her conspiracies, nada, zero, zilch, and she backed away on a bunch of them. This is the first time I think she's ever really backed away from the Twigs thing. First time I've heard her back away from the Erica thing, back away from TPUSA, being very cautious about making any of those claims now. Whereas on her show, much more likely to be making those claims. So she just had nothing the entire...
Well, it didn't seem she made those claims on her show. But again, you're obviously like, it seems like you're lawsuit prodding. So
debate, zero.
Candace.
Well, I think that is quite a conclusion. Admitting somewhere, maybe we stalemated. It probably signifies what I've been saying from the beginning, that you didn't feel that you were strong on the actual facts and the evidence, which I was willing to engage with you. I wanted to go over the screwdriver. I wanted to go over the towel and the things that you've mentioned. And you wanted to then move the conversation into a defense of Erica Kirk and her character and what I've said about Erica, which is my opinion. And I have not edited that opinion after discussing with you. I would like to extend a compliment to you for being willing to sit down and to have the conversation. I still walk away feeling that the people who are jumping on the bandwagon about this case don't care about this case. They don't care about Erica Kirk. It tends to be follow that they take a meeting with Turning Point USA and they come out and suddenly have a lot of junk to say about Candace Owens. And I do want to also stress that
that would make sense for them to use her or use like other people as a way to like try to weaken her movement. But now she looks really strong.
Point USA tried to pepper him with something as a surprise. He showed clips that were meant to be a surprise. I did no such thing. I stressed to PBD from the beginning that I was grateful he was taking this on and that I wanted this to be a clean debate because I believe I can win this on the merits. And I believe that I did win this fully on the merits by engaging the evidence of what has happened. I do still believe that there is more evidence which supports that there are more people involved and that Tyler Robinson has been set up and that none of the evidence that was presented was in any way overwhelming, which is why I think you wanted to move to end that discussion quickly and to speak to me about France and to talk about this Panguitch receipt and my timeline. I want to remind people that a lot of the at-home investigators, which you were open to, as you called them, internet sleuths. I think it was on a show that you did right after Charlie was assassinated that internet sleuths would solve this. This is the reason why.
Oh yeah, he said something like that. He kind of urged. He actually, I think, I don't know if I have the clip, but he urged like quote unquote internet sleuths to do this. This is like kind of a clip of that.
Did you watch the FBI brief? The one that was like an hour ago or something before. Yeah, it was so bad. Yeah, they have nothing. It's disgusting. And like I feel terrible for the Kirks. They just want they at least at this point just want the basic justice of apprehending the suspect. And this is terrible. Yeah. Do you think that there's a chance that they don't catch the guy? No chance. Let me tell you why I think that. There have been people who have murdered cats online, and internet sleuths will figure this shit out. If the FBI and law enforcement doesn't solve this, you good people on the internet will solve this. And you'll put clues together which will assist them in figuring out who this person is. In fact, I'm willing to make the prediction tonight that the FBI only solves this through the help of internet sleuths like you guys. They're not going to give justice to the Kirks. You guys have to give justice to the Kirks because this.
I just think it's kind of funny because he is basically saying like, hey, a bunch of internet sleuths should look into this, and now he's upset in the way that they did. I just think it's kind of funny, but.
Charlie, a year on, is still a conversation every single day trending on Twitter. I knew Charlie. I cared about Charlie. I care about finding out what the truth is here. My heart is in the right place. I think anybody who watches my show or even just watch this debate knows that if I get something wrong, I'll instantly correct it and own it. I'm not arrogant. I don't need to sit here and pretend that I didn't misspeak on the Lance thing. It hasn't been ruled out. But you saw that he just really wanted to hammer that point. You know, part of being a well-meaning person is to concede when you are wrong, to take something off a timeline when you know it's not right. And I would like to think that that is why I have earned the audience that continues to follow me, because they know my heart's in the right place, that I deeply cared about Charlie and I deeply care about the answers. I want to thank Andrew's team who are providing the fact checks. It's a very small room that they're in. I want to, as always, thank my team who worked really hard to make this happen and flip this set. And to you, PBD, just for being a great moderator. I think very fair, letting us both speak and making sure that Andrew got out of this what he wanted, which is a little more than what I wanted. But I'm very content with how I dealt with this. And I trust, I don't need to convince the audiences with the magic trick of what they need to think about this debate. They can watch it and draw their own conclusions.
Beautiful. Fair from both of you. I think the audience won. And again, from the beginning, all of this is because of how much love and respect we have for Charlie Kirk, a great man that's no longer here with us. Okay. His 1 year anniversary is coming up here. I can't believe it's that quick that is here. The audience, I think you also won if you did. Support the Crucible, support the Candace Show, support the PBD Podcast, subscribe to the channel. This is how you help these voices get out even more.
Guys, Charlie Kirk was assassinated. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And my Spotify and my Apple if you're interested.
Going into future when this happens, you want a lot of independent creators to have these types of discussions. And last but not least, the two of you, I respect you guys again for having this conversation. It is not easy to do so. Hopefully this will lead to more discussions. A lot of different things we talked about. I'm sure there will be a lot of follow-up. But that being said, take care, everybody. God bless. Have a great weekend.
All right.
Bye.
Well, God has been blessed. It's incredible stuff. The hell of a year. Wow. Well, that was that. That was fucking crazy. Cool. Let's see what we got here. This is.
You can't smoke cigarettes in my home, and his wife seems unwell.
Wow.
She came apart at the idea of him not being able to smoke cigarettes. Just respectfully,
That's insane. Like listen, I like a good cigarette, but you got to be able to. You can't be smoking in someone's house.
Really don't care what you call me. His wife, who seems to jump into all of his debates.
What a picture. What a nice looking guy.
Was trying to be like, this is ridiculous. Why can't he smoke cigarettes? And she said,
what?
No smoking, typical woman nonsense.
LOL, no smoking, typical woman nonsense. I'm surprised she hasn't Me Too'd anyone yet. What does that mean? I'm surprised she hasn't Me Too'd anybody because she doesn't want cigarette smoke in her house. I don't understand. What?
I'm surprised she hasn't Me Too'd anyone. Like, what?
What does that mean?
It's a baby, see?
Sir,
Sir, you can't smoke that in here.
Okay.
Put it out.
Can't smoke anywhere these days.
And then she wrote again. I mean, she was going crazy about these cigarettes. She wrote this. Yeah. Who clutches their pearls about smoking?
What? Zoomer soy boys?
Zoomer soy boys, maybe. Or the type of woman who reports everything to HR. Like, I don't.
This is really funny to me because like there's all these clips going around about how like Rachel Wilson is like, she's so submissive and petite for Andrew Wilson. I'm pretty sure this is it right here. Like,
if I'm getting like a really bitchy attitude.
And the reason I'm bringing this up is because she will not shut the fuck up. And like literally she's making everything worse for Andrew. But she just like, clearly this is all fake. Andrew has no control over her. He likes to pretend that he does, and she does too. But like Andrew's obviously a fucking pussy.
With him that's totally undeserved. He'll be like, you need to go take a nap. And you don't talk to me like that, you know.
Whoa, tough guy, huh?
I always tell this story about when we first started.
I always tell a story about when we first started dating. He hit me once and hurt his hand worse than my face. He cut it on my teeth. I said, what are we talking about here?
Dating, and I was being kind of a brat, and I threw a remote control at him for some reason.
What?
Don't even remember what it was, but
I swear to God, these guys are the types of people that would like meow in public. You know what I mean? Like they just give me this vibe. This is insane.
I was just being a sassy brat, and he just looked at me and he went, I don't date girls who throw things at me.
Whoa.
So I'm going to leave now, and if you ever want to see me
I do.
again, you should call me and apologize.
As long as she's throwing that pussy back on me. I'm talking about my wife, obviously, not whatever she is. But
And he just walked out.
Whoa.
No, he didn't yell. He didn't get into a fight with me.
Wow.
He just calmly asserted, like,
That's
this is a boundary that you don't cross.
Hey, well, you know what? You know what they say. Nothing makes anyone seem like a man as much as your wife going on and talking about how you're actually a pretty tough guy for walking away. I don't know. Cool. What? This makes him seem so cringe.
That I won't put up with. And at first I was like, what did you... I got like, you know, I got in my feelings about it. And then I went, oh, crap. Am I the girl that throws things? Am I the girl that throws stuff at guys? Like, I don't want to be her. I don't want...
What does that mean? Am I the girl that throws things? He probably cried walking away.
to be like that. And then I was like, dang it, he's right.
He's right.
You know? So just my ability to say to myself, yeah, like objectively, he's right. That was out of pocket, obnoxious behavior. And no man who respects himself is going to want that. Helped me. It helped me to correct behavior, like habits that I had probably picked up growing up that I didn't even know that I had.
Wow, so true, Queen.
And he was just calmly assertive. He never yells at me. He doesn't raise his voice to me, like really ever.
Why would I care about that? He's like he's like 5'6". He's not a very threatening looking guy. So like, what does it matter if he did raise his voice? It wouldn't even be scary. It'd be a laughable event. Like Andrew, like the type of guy that like, oh, he doesn't yell at me. That's a guy like, that's somebody that's big. That's like a 6'4" fat guy wearing a USA fucking t-shirt, dude. Somebody big and actually like strong, a normal guy. This guy's he swear to God, he's like 5'6". Like him yelling would be laughable. You wouldn't, who cares if he would yell? He didn't yell. It was so above him. What the fuck? You guys are both crying so bad that he can't smoke cigarettes in somebody's house. Like he obviously is just like a little baby who can't like exist without a little fucking binky. That's what the cigarette is for him.
He'll just calmly be like, no, that's not happening.
That's not happening.
This is what, this
Rachel,
is what we're going to do.
Stop it, please.
And
Rachel,
sometimes most of the time he takes
it.
a lot of care to like explain what he's thinking. But sometimes he's like, look, I don't have time.
He failed to do that. He failed to do that on Andrew, on Candace Owens. Time to flex, you right. Time to flex, dude. Here we go. There we go right there. There it is, dude. Front delt's looking pretty decent right there. Traps. What the fuck, dude? There it is, dude. Yeah, you better be afraid, my wife. You better be afraid, wife. My wife better be fucking terrified right now, but I'll yell at her. I'm not going to yell at her. This is the thing, is that I know my wife will stab me in my sleep if I ever fucked with her like that. So that's why I don't yell at her. It's called a real woman. You know what I'm saying?
Or patience to explain this right now. This is just what I need you to do, and you got to trust me. And I go, okay.
Wow. So that was obviously all fake.
Know what this is. It's so trashy, I can't comprehend it. Okay, I guess I'm a Zoomer Me Tooer because your husband can't chain smoke in front of me. She
That's
just
crazy.
kept going and going. And then someone pointed out to me that this is like a routine thing where she just jumps into his debates, but his brand is like manosphere and patriarchy and like putting these like girls OnlyFans girls in their place and telling them about how they shouldn't be living this life. And yet his wife is way out of pocket. And when that girl that we showed you, Charlie, debated him and was about to raise a valid point about if you're going to be lecturing about this lifestyle, do you embody this lifestyle in your own personal life? And he sort of crashed out.
Well, yeah, she specifically, or Dave specifically said that, like, she has 5 kids with 3 different guys. And if he's going to, like, you know, she obviously was, you know, she's sleuting around. You know, so who's going to salute? Any miskers out there? You know, and by the way, you know, sometimes you got to sow your wild oats, or you have to get those oats sowed into you. I don't know. But, yeah, I mean, she's very, what are you doing? You know, she's very loud and aggressive and annoying.
Don't talk shit about my wife, you stupid. Shut your mouth.
Yeah, the first thing he said was that she eats pussy. And what an own. What an own. She fucking eats pussy, dude. Holy fuck. Which is weird because Andrew looks like the kind of guy who eats pussy, or maybe he just yells into the crevasse that is her vagina. He could hear herself. He could hear himself back. That's why he likes her so much, I would imagine. You know? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I just hate high body counts, guys. I'm such a toxic guy. I can't believe you'd have all those babies. Very irresponsible.
Stupid mouth.
What happened after that
was
his wife called in and started debating her.
Rachel seems to indicate she'd like to do a call-in with your permission.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yes, I will absolutely let my wife do this for me.
I'm going to go have a smoke.
I don't want to talk to you.
Oh, no. He talked a bunch of shit. Now it's your turn.
Not really talking shit. He needed an excuse to go smoke a cigarette and have a cry.
If she had only slept with 3 men, but aborted her children, hang on, Rachel, stop for a second. Would it be the case? Was that too abusive? Shut up, Rachel. Was that too abusive, Charlie?
Okay.
I don't know, man.
This is Gus Johnson. Yeah, fat.
Sorry, I probably should have just Googled it.
All I'm saying is I'm excited for Friday because we're not going to be phoning friends, but the wife is a thing. It's a thing. And she jumps right in and she speaks on behalf of her husband. He tells her to shut up, which I would, when he said, is that abusive? Yeah, my husband does not tell me to shut up and I do not tell my husband to shut up. Just to be clear, I would never allow that in a relationship at all. It seems crazy to me to say to your wife, disrespectful, especially when you're on live TV or like live in a live debate. To be fair, I did tell his wife, I suggested she should shut up. So like maybe it's an extenuating circumstance. You can't.
All right. Well, that was fucking crazy. Good luck, Andrew.